Good evening, chat. Hello. We are doing something a little different tonight. Something that came out and got released this week is Richard Allen's police interviews. Something we probably wanted to see for a while that we haven't had a chance to look for. Because now it's not just the cops telling us what happened, but we can see what Richard Allen did. And also, more importantly, one of the biggest things for Richard Allen is he went and talked to the cops, and don't ever talk to the police. It never ends well. Now, I understand Richard Allen's case, his wife told him, you need to go talk to them and tell them what and help clear things up. And guess what? He did, and that's why you don't talk to the cops. That's why you don't talk to the cops. This was thing there, yeah. Yes, pull over. No, it's a cardigan. Yes, very true. So, whether or not you think Richard Allen's innocent or guilty, there's things at least, you know what, you guys, you can watch this and learn for yourself to say, I won't do that. I won't do what he does. I'll know when it's time to leave. Because that was Richard Allen's big thing. He fucked around at the police station like an idiot. This is Grandma, how are you? Well, I'm warmer now that I have my sweater on. So, we are going to do this, guys. Here we go. So I tried finding it where it's just like a news site uploaded it, but it's other people have uploaded, so that's where we're going to be watching it through. But I think these are without commentary, which is very helpful. So it's a guy from Tom Webster. He's put it up, but we'll just use this and go from there. So here we go. Without further ado, chat, this is Richard Allen, and this is more of a, I guess, don't do what he does. Don't do what he does. Probably be the best thing you can do. It'll probably be the best thing you can do here. So, here we go. Now, this is the first thing, chat. Notice, this room is empty, which means there's nobody here. This is how the room should always look. You should never be in a room giving a statement to police. If you're in the room, you've already screwed up. If you're at the police station, you've already screwed up. This room should always be empty. You should never be in it. This is a danger zone.
Okay, great. So, see you later, Richard. Thank you. I don't know if I gave you one of my cards. There it is. I think you did. I probably set it down. Good. So, the reason we wanted to talk to you is about the Willoughby case. Okay. And,
also, here's a problem. It's an empty chair sitting next to him. He's there by himself. He's there by himself. He's there by himself. It's 2-on-1. And they think you're the bad man. Notice, Richard Allen talks for over an hour and 27 minutes. They don't convince. Richard Allen obviously doesn't convince him that he's not the bad guy. There's no point in this. You are never going to convince him you're the good guy. Don't ever be in this room. If you're in this room, you should immediately stop. You can always stop. You have the right to remain silent. You could stop at any point in time. Am I free to go? All those things are critical. So here we go.
I appreciate your time in doing that. And as a formality, before we talk to anybody about these things, I want to make sure you understand you're not under arrest or anything like that, okay? And the door here is open. You can leave at any time you want. I'd be glad to give you right back or whatever.
Right? Oh, no, you really should have done that. You should have got up and left. This is all a formality, yes, because they don't believe any of this stuff. They think you're guilty. He should have totally left. Fucking A.
So, but we need to make sure that we go cover formality here. And I'm going to get to the page here where this is a Miranda warning. So before we ask any questions, you understand your rights to the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. Have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask any questions and have it with you during questioning. If you cannot afford a lawyer, we'll be appointed for you before you question if you wish. If you decide to answer questions now without a lawyer present, you have the right to stop answering anytime. You also have the right to stop answering anytime you talk to a lawyer. And like I said, you're not under arrest, so just want to make sure you understand those rights. Down here at the bottom, it says, I read the statement of our rights and understand our rights. I do not want a lawyer at this time, and I understand what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me. If you be willing to talk with us, or just if you understand your rights.
Never sign anything and get out. This is one of the few times in the world where when you're being about to get attacked or when a predator is circling you, this is the only time in the animal kingdom where the predator has to look at you and go and say, by the way, you are prey, and as prey, you have certain options. And I have to warn you that I'm going to prey upon you. You have the ability to leave. You need to use it. You're there because they think you're a bad man. They think you're the bad man.
We just need your signature there we charge. Okay? Okay. Now, this is a formality we take care of whenever we talk to anyone.
We're just going back to the beginning of the case, and we know you had talked to Lieutenant Doolin. We just want to figure out what you saw when you were out there before.
Yep, I'm not under arrest. Great, I'm leaving.
Great, wonderful. Okay. Now, Tony brought up something that you had done when initially you had talked to Lieutenant Doolin, and according to Lieutenant Doolin, the information he got to you from you was that you were on the trail between 1:30 and 3:30. Does it make any sense? Okay. And that you had parked at the old Farm Bureau building. I think that may have been the old welfare office out there. Well, while at the Freedom Bridge, you saw three females and noted that one was taller and had black or brown long hair. This is basically what he had written down. Okay. And maybe even got some information about your phone or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. So now you understand everything. So I want to make sure that we just kind of get some information from you, and we get started here off of that with today's date, which is Thursday. And today is 10/13 of 22. What time do you have, Tony?
It's 11:15.
10:45. And your full name is?
Richard.
H-A-R-D.
Matthew.
That's A-L-L-E-N.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how old are you now?
50 years old.
Okay. Your date of birth?
9972.
Okay, great. Can I ask you to write down the X is that right there?
I'm in the 50-year-old club this year.
Yeah. I'm beyond that, actually. So.
Just turned. No.
Sorry. Hard to believe. And do you know your driver's license number off the top of your head?
No.
Don't worry about it. The home address, I didn't get it when I was out there. What is it?
1967.
67.
White Man Drive.
Okay. And a phone number you can be contacted at?
317-612-4533.
Would you have a water? I got one right here, John.
Oh, okay, sure. I'll be right back.
And do you have any of their cell phone numbers that you can be contacted by?
I got my wife's number.
Okay. What is her phone number?
317-612. 4753.
Okay.
Never dial numbers anymore.
You know, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, okay. And how long have you had that phone number that's your 317 number?
I believe I got it when I worked at Indy, so it would have been prior to 2006.
Okay.
Because it's an Indy number.
Okay. Okay. So, let's see. And can I ask what kind of phone you have?
Is it Android or Google?
Okay. Yeah. What's your email address?
RICK2045 at frontier.com.
Do you have any other email addresses?
Frontier email address? Wow.
Yeah, got.
Or does he have Netscape?
It's Foojaka, FOOJACKA 0 at gmail.com.
It's confirmed. He's a
And I
boomer.
had one at Yahoo at some point too, but I don't remember what it was.
Okay, great. What kind of social media did you do? Applications do you use, like Facebook at all? Do you have a Facebook account?
Well, my wife does. I don't.
Sounds very familiar. Okay. Okay. And does she post often? Maybe like,
She's,
on her old time?
then she does.
Okay, all right. So what is your marital status?
Married?
Married, okay. And have you been married before?
No.
Okay. Number of children, you were talking about your kid, your daughter. What's your name again?
Rick. Oh, my daughter. Rick Jr. Now. DRITTANY.
Okay. And how old is Brittany now, you said? The math earlier.
28,
28, okay. She's born when, you said?
1994.
4, okay. And what's your last name now?
Zapanta. Zapanta.
Okay. And any grandkids?
No.
Oh, okay. And what's your husband's name? Is he from around here?
He's originally from the Philippines,
Oh, okay.
but lived in Canada, and he's been here, shortly before they got married, so around 16, maybe 15, 16,
Okay.
I don't know. They got married at 17.
What's his name?
Paulo, P-A-U-L-O.
Okay. P-A-U-L-L? Oh, I know.
P-A-U-L-O.
I got it. Okay. All right. So, but he lived here for a while. I never, since the Panthers being around here.
No, not around here.
Around here?
No.
Maybe somebody else?
He was already up in Napanee when she met him.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Graduated from high school. Where at?
North Miami.
What year?
91.
Okay. And any other vocational training, college classes?
Went to Ivy Tech, like a couple of semesters.
What'd you study there?
This is just awful,
Recounting.
chat.
Okay. Any other vocational training or? Okay.
Well, I was in the military, but
Oh, okay. That's the question coming up here. Were you involved in any fraternal organizations, clubs, or athletics, or anything like that in school?
I did some track here and there. I did football for like a year, but nothing serious.
Okay. Any clubs or National Honor Society or something like that?
Oh, no.
Sorry. Military service. So what branch?
National Guard, Army National Guard.
And what highest rank achieved?
E5. Sergeant.
Okay. Mostly around here? Or
No, it was in,
All right, guys, we're going to try to skip ahead here, see if we can get through most of this. Yeah, here we go. I think we're to the point of getting to the actual questions.
no.
Have you ever?
On occasion, nothing.
Okay. Where did you usually go to? Any place around here? On Star Trek?
Okay,
I've had a heart.
okay. Blah, blah, blah. There we go.
Okay, you were 40. 37. Holy cow. Mm-hmm. And anything else?
Depression, anxiety. Since, well, not,
CVS somewhere? CVS?
yeah, I was, Peru was, so that one, I was in real training.
Well, let's just get to where it matters here. Come on, guys. I mean, you can see they're fucking with you, and this is just they talk you up. This is how it goes. Super mundane. They want to talk to you. Hey, man, I know what it's like. I was in the military. You know, brother, I hear you, man. I know it's like working a 9 to 5. I hated corporate shit as well. Yeah, this is what they do, guys. So here we go.
From where we're at right now, I think probably, can you help us understand what was going on Monday, February the 13th? Can you kind of tell us what you were doing that day and every day the girls went on the trail? Okay. Yeah.
He should say nothing. This is where we should be like, I should be able to go like this and say, well, chat, that's been it. He had nothing to say, and he walked right out of the courtroom. Assholes react. Oh, you're asking what did I want? Oh, do a like carpet bombing. Yeah, you gotta do a B-17 raid. But yeah, this is anyways, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. But yeah, he should be walking out. He should have just left. It should be over. But it's not. It's not over. It's not over at all. I mean, we got a lot of this to get through, chat. I mean, look how long this goes. You know, he's got a couple of minutes where he's sitting by himself. You know, it's like just, you know. They're already asking, what do you know about these girls that were murdered? Get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. Talk to the cops. Oh, shit. Okay. Robert Lawrence gifting 5 subs. Thank you, Robert. And then, holy shit. Assholes react. Whiskey 77 and Trace Modelos coming in with the fucking heat. Holy shit. Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, wow. Just laying it down on those grays. Laying it down on those grays. Oh, did they feed him? No, I don't think they did. Thank you so much, though. 3 beers and so what's up? Cannon, how you doing, man? Hey guys, Ken Hotep here on YouTube. We ended up doing a little bit of an audible. We found this is one of the cases we've been covering. The guy's police interviews got released, so we're taking a look at those tonight, but we will be doing the I know you wanted to get involved with that the stabbing thing, and we'll be talking probably about that tomorrow a little bit, tomorrow night, among another thing there. So that'll be the game plan. So if you're free tomorrow, I'll hit you up. But how you doing, brother? Hope you're doing well tonight. Is this the interview they arrest him? No, this is October 13th. The next one, 12 days later, is when they arrest him. Bear Juice saying he signed off saying he didn't want a lawyer. Correct. But you can always stop and say, I want a lawyer. You can always invoke or revoke any waivers you sign. You can always change your mind. Yeah, you wouldn't be there if they already had most of the answers. So yeah, there was no reason for this. There was no reason for this interview. Yes, hold the line. Yes, don't be a panicking. Oh, but this is just... So, anyways, here we go. He's going to talk about where he was and what he was doing. Like a dumb fuck.
We went over to my mom's in Peru, Mexico, earlier in the day. I think my mom had hip surgery back then or something, but regardless, my wife was working, so I went over there and spent the day, not the day, I spent the morning with them. My sisters come over and they were going to go eat lunch and stuff, and I wasn't about that, so I went home, and I remember it was a fairly warm day, or warmer than normal, so I think I just put it back on and went back out to the trails. Usually when we go, we walk down the high bridge and walk back and walk down the other side and come back. I mean, it wasn't a ritual, but I remember walking down to the bridge. The times, I left my mom's, it was probably around 11:15. So I think I would have been out there, because I didn't do anything else. It would have been around noon, I thought, is when I was out there. Walked down to High Bridge. Always went out just a little ways, not all the way. Went out a little way and watched the fish. See if I seen any fish down there, because I like fishing. And walked back and sat on the, when you turn around and go down the other fork, there's a bench that overlooks, and sat there for a few minutes and walked down the, walked back out and left.
Okay. Anything else you remember? Where was your parking apartment?
Said there was, the big parking lot wasn't there at the time, right?
Oh, you mean which one?
Like where the bridge is at, I don't think it was there. So there's if you went over behind, there's a back road that went up and there was a bridge, not the main bridge, there was a smaller bridge where you could park there, or you could park over on the other side. And I remember I didn't park over there where the, it's a farmer's entrance or something. I remember I didn't park there because I had told him something about, there were a couple vehicles there when I left, so I parked somewhere, either parked over on the bridge side, or there used to be a little building there, I could have parked there. There was a trail until they got the whole thing done.
Okay. When you're talking about the bridge, just so I'm clear, you're talking about that big blue bridge, the Freedom Bridge, or whatever that goes over the highway.
Well, that's the big blue bridge, but before that was there was a, if you're going out of town, you would take the road that I think is where the park is. It winds off this way, and there's a road. The first road you come, well, I don't know if it's the first road, but there's a road that takes off to the right, and there's houses, and then it just kind of turns into a lane. And there's a small bridge up there before. I mean, I think it's still there. If you were
Like the one, okay, so you're talking about the one lane bridge kind of that goes over the street?
it wasn't used. It wasn't a bridge that was used, I guess is what I'm saying. It was just, there was a parking area up there that you could park in.
Okay.
And that's where people used, that's where quite a few people would park before they, I mean, now there's a nice parking space, but before it was either you parked there or you parked over in the farmer's thing. And I mean, at one point they had it marked that they didn't want you parking there. So it, and I know it wasn't over there because I told them something about some cars that were there. So I would have been parked up on the bridge side of things, I guess is what I'm saying. I guess I'm on.
So this is kind of an overview of the area. So obviously this is the Blue Bridge here over the Heartland Highway.
Okay.
Yeah, and so yeah, can you mark on where you think you parked at?
Show me the Blue Bridge again.
Blue Bridge, here's your Heartland Highway. Here's Main Street. The road that comes out from downtown goes out onto Heartland. And here's the Andersons. I think that's going to be their fertilizer plant. And down there's the,
Oh, that's the Blue Bridge. I mean, it's right there. It would have been over here somewhere probably.
well, that's one of the parking areas. Okay, and then
Or it would have been, there was a old building somewhere over.
this map was taken back when the building was still there. And this is the building that was on the bridge, the trail side of the bridge.
Okay.
So down at
You went this way, I think you went down this way and like it was an underpass or something?
Yep, that's right. And then there's a building right there, if you can see it.
Okay. So it would either been there or there.
Okay, all right, very good. Which way do you think you would travel to get to this building that particular day? Do you remember?
Just that way it loops around.
Okay.
I don't know the names of the roads or anything. I could show you where I drove, but it just, on the way, the road that goes out.
They're asking you for maps at this point. When they're asking you to draw out where you went, they're asking you to give them a map of the entire thing. This is just, it is just so bad to see what's happening here. Yes, his memory is also amazing, yes. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is why you don't ever talk about it, chat. It's why you don't ever talk about it. But in the meantime, assholes react with another 50 subs. Another 50 just coming in, finding these grays and just smashing them under the green heel. That's what happens, Grace. You get crushed. So thank you, 3 beers and whiskey. Asshole React says, I missed a few. Well, thank you. Jonathan says, I just want to see how long it said I was a member. Well, thank you for being here for 12 months. But yeah, there we go, chat. Here we go. Do not ever talk to the cops. Guy Remectus says, how would you know which lawyer to call in the middle of this interview? You wouldn't. You need to find one, but in the meantime, you don't talk till a lawyer's sitting there next to you. These people are not your friends. So, this is an entirely avoidable situation. You know, they're like, they got that big old glossy photo, chat. The reason why they're doing it, it's because they've got it prepared for you. Because once again, you are the bad man to them, whether you are or not. You are their bad man.
Basically the same way that you get to this one, except now it's further up, and you go down, and it like comes down and goes around somewhere and comes over on the other side.
Okay, very good. Okay. Was it ever an occasion where you might have gone to the park another way? Did you go out here very often? I should ask you.
Not like I would say often. I mean, we go out, we may go once a month, we may go twice in 1 week. I mean, it was just kind of one of those where when we felt like walking the trail, we go. I mean, I could say we visited it regularly. During the summer months, we didn't really go out there much in the winter. We may have gone out a time or two. But.
Right, okay. So was it ever something, was there ever a time that you guys took another path to get out there besides going around this way, or do you remember anything like that?
I think there's a way if you go past where you park the farmer's entrance that I was telling you about.
I think it's down here. There's an entrance across from a residence that's a farmhouse.
Oh, Jesus.
Does that make any sense?
Giving them everything.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I mean, I know that there's a way that winds around, and you can eventually get back to 200 or whatever road it is. We're off of 200 North, I think it is. It comes out somewhere down there, but we only did that. I think we found that by accident one time. We thought we'd go that way and try to get back, and it was we eventually came out that way somewhere.
Okay.
But no, I wouldn't. If we were going to go there, we would go down through town and.
Okay. Good enough. All right. So let's talk more about what you remember doing that day, remember seeing that day.
Okay.
You gave an account to the officer who talked to you. And you remember how that was prompted, how that happened, that you happened to talk to the officer?
I don't remember if it was the next day or a couple days, but shortly after they were asking for anybody that was there to come in. So I went down. I got home from work and my wife said, they want to talk because I had obviously told her that I was there. And she said they want to talk to anybody that was down there, may have any information on how much, but I obviously will go down. So we went down to the sheriff's station, and I don't remember who it was, came out and talked to me and said that he would get my name and information. And then I was driving downtown for something, and I remember he called me when I was in the car because I pulled over and talked to him. It was a DNR officer, and he asked me if I could come down and talk there, or if I want to meet somewhere. And I don't remember how or why. I think they were really busy, obviously, crowded probably. So I was heading down to, it was a stable lot, parking lot down there, and I told him I would just meet him there if that was okay. So he came down, we talked. He looked at my phone, took my phone information, and I think he got some, we took the battery out and everything, and got information off of it. So that's pretty much it. And I gave him the account. Forgive me, it's been years, and I thought about it a lot. As time goes on, it's like I said, I think I was there probably
frustrating to watch.
Around noon. It could have been a little before noon or a little after noon.
So if you guys, and I guess I should say, if you don't remember, Richard Allen went to trial back at the end of the year late last year, was convicted of both counts of murdering Abby Williams and Libby Germain. Libby German, I forget how you pronounce her name. Anyways, he was convicted on both counts. He did not enter a plea. He was convicted at trial. And currently, he's appealing it. So, yeah. And True Sleuth may be. And you know what? There's a lot of things that hurt Richard Allen in this, but there's still a bunch of it that doesn't add up and doesn't make sense. Like, that he was able to butcher and bleed one of these women, these teens, basically dry of blood and he didn't have any blood on him. He didn't have bloody clothes. They couldn't find anything that indicated any of that. His conviction, if he truly is guilty, is in spite of the dog shit police work that was done in this case. So I will say that.
Walk down, back an hour, so probably 1:30, 1:45, depending on exactly what time it was that I got there that day. I just remember walking down the trail, and I told him that when I was approaching the trail, or the trailhead, I guess is what I call it, there was 3 girls walking off the trail, and I just remember it looking like one of them was probably watching babysitting, but watching the other 2 because they looked a little younger, and they looked very similar. I don't know if they were sisters or whatever, but the other one didn't necessarily. But I remember seeing them walking off the trailhead.
Yes, Chad, I will say, Andrea Burkhart was present for every day of the trial. She covered it live. She covered it because we weren't allowed to have cameras in the courtroom for some reason because of the esteemed Judge Gall. Bob Motta for Defense Diaries was there. Attorney Little was there. I think that was one of them. I forget who else was there, but those 3 were there covering it. So, yes, the actual coverage of this. So, because we weren't allowed to watch it for some reason.
I didn't really see anybody. I walked down, like I said, I looked at the water, I walked back, and I said, somebody could walk behind me, I guess, but I sat on that bench that overlooks the creek bed and all that. And I remember telling him when I left, I remember there being, I think there was 2 vehicles down there on that farmer's entrance that I told you about.
It did not match his gun. It was indicative of it, but any .40 caliber Sig Sauer P226 would have left similar things. It was not conclusively linked. That's why. So, and you guess who also had .40 cal Sig 226s? The Indiana State Police. So I'm sure they would all leave similar tool marks, given that they're all run mass-produced items. Snowflakes is what's his background? Unassuming guy with a law-abiding life. That's his thing, and they accused him of murdering these 2 girls. Yep, and that right there. Yep, that's it. This stuff is what toasts them. That's why you don't talk to the cops. Why you do not talk to the cops.
Somebody could walk behind me, I guess, but I sat on that bench that overlooks the creek bed and all that. And I remember telling him when I left, I remember there being, I think there was 2 vehicles down there on that farmer's entrance that I told you about. And that's why I know I didn't park there, because obviously I wouldn't recall seeing cars there if I parked there.
The farmer's entrance, are we still talking about this area here, or is there some other location here?
There's a pull-in, like right next to the trail is all I can tell you. There's a pull-in right next to the trail, and the trail actually leads up to the trail.
And this is the thing. You put yourself at that scene, but also you notice, like the geofence data, well, hey, there were other people nearby. Well, who are those other people? It didn't matter. They found a guy that sorted it out. So this is the problem. They determine you're the guy. That's all that matters at that point. And yes, it's crazy there's no forensic evidence. It's very suspicious there's no forensic evidence because remember, nobody's ever that good that there's no forensic evidence. He bullet stabbed the girls. Yes. He bullet stabbed the girls. I think at the very least, they definitely proved he's the guy on the bridge that took him down there, which he still would have been convicted. I don't know if that's correct because none of the witnesses identified Richard Allen as being bridge guy. Because they all sat there and nobody ever said that's him. He was around that area, but there were other people in the area too. And more importantly, they've never said that it's been other people. They focused Richard Allen was this. Well, who did it? How did it all work? Remember, they're saying there weren't other people involved for the longest time. So, I also think if others were involved, he would have snitched. Well, yeah, you know what? Or if he didn't do it. So, no, there's no Clyde appearance right now. So, oh, guys, it was also Attorney Lee, not Attorney Little or Lawyer Lee. So, hopefully the Idaho case could be live streamed. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully. So, yes, you're looking, well, I mean, at this point, the problem is those 3 girls saw him and he admits to seeing them. Are you talking about Brian Koberger or Richard Allen? Yeah, that's the thing. He admits, yeah, I walked by them. I was in the area. But other people were in that area too. This is the problem of why you talk to the cops. If you give them enough information, they assume you're the bad man. So that is the problem. That is the problem here with this. So I will show chickens for National Pet Day, but I won't show Clyde. I don't know. But anyways, that's the issue here. But let's keep going.
It's hard to see from here, but I think this is what's called the old mirrors.
There was a farmhouse across from it. That's all I knew. Right. And it was like that. I mean, I guess it looked like where you take farm equipment in and out or something. But I know at one point they flagged it that it said no parking, so we didn't park there for a period of time. But
did you ever park there before? Anyway?
Yeah,
a lot of times you did. Okay.
I mean, we used to when it wasn't marked. Mm-hmm. We did a cleanup down there one time I brought a bunch of Walmart people. Kind of a community engagement thing. And we did a cleanup down there. It's the year that they tore down. We tore down that, if you go down, not the High Bridge way, but that one where I sit on the bench. Yes, I was talking about. If you go down the hill, there used to be a little shed, a little shack down there, and they tore that. And we were there that day that we tore that down.
Okay. Yeah. You guys did that with Walmart. Was that the local Walmart you worked at?
Lafayette.
Okay. The one in Commerce or the one on
Commerce.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. So you guys came up and did that. Do you know when that was?
Oh, Lord, no. Well,
it was before or after this?
2006. Oh, it would have been way before. I wasn't even with. It was what, 17?
Yep. When the girls were out there.
13. So I wasn't even with Walmart at the time. I would have already been with CVS. Yeah.
Okay. So sometime in that.
Yeah, it would have been way before. I mean, I went to CVS in, I say 13, so it would have had to been before 13.
Okay. So you're out there then working on trails?
I'm going to say a lot earlier than that because I worked in Chicago, south of Chicago, for a couple of my last years with Walmart when I was actually running that store. So probably around 9, 10 maybe.
Okay. All right. Somewhere around there. So you were working out there in trails. Have you been familiar with the trails before then? Was there a time that you had been out trails before that?
We had walked, after we moved to Delphi, I mean, we started experimenting. I mean, there were trails that we didn't know were there, but, you know, you hear about one and you'd go, and I'm sure by that point, well, obviously I know by that point I knew about them because that's how I don't know how I got associated with the Dan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
Dan
pretty
sus.
That that's pretty fucking sus, chat. That's pretty sus. That's pretty sus. Saying down the hill. I mean, it's pretty sussy. It's pretty sussy.
Before then, was there a time that you had been out trails before that?
We had walked, after we moved to Delphi, I mean, we started experimenting. I mean, there were trails that we didn't know were there, but, you know, you hear about one and you'd go, and I'm sure by that point, well, obviously I know by that point I knew about them because that's how I don't know how I got associated with the Dan something or other that runs the Erie, I think it was Dan, run like the Erie Canal thing, mm-hmm. And McCain,
yeah, okay.
I don't remember how I became acquainted with him, but I asked him because at Walmart, you know, as a leader, they always want you to be involved.
And remember, chat, he says down the hill. Maybe he meant that innocuously, but guess what these two are thinking? They're probably thinking, oh my God, he said the fucking words on video. This is why you don't talk to them.
The community, and I mean, it's a good thing, sure. But you can also give money to, like, so because we brought so many people out for that event for a day, we had so many hours, and we were able to donate money because of that from Walmart to the Erie Canal Foundation or whatever. So mm-hmm. We worked, I guess the question is, yeah, I did on the trails before that day, mm-hmm. And we also worked out at the Carrollton Bridge that day. There's a towpath or something. We did some stuff along there too.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense. All right, well, that's good.
So, yeah, I sat there for a few minutes and left, and like I said, there were a couple vehicles. I may have told him the exact makes. I'm not sure. I just remember one was like a sedan, and I think maybe one was an SUV.
Fair
I'm
enough.
not sure.
But it's why you don't go in and talk.
What I said that when I interviewed with him,
and that was at the you call farmer's entrance. Those cars were at the farmer's entrance.
Yes, sir.
What about where you parked? Were there? Vehicles?
I know there were no vehicles where I parked because I don't remember telling him. I mean, if he asked, I didn't see anything there. That
Okay.
And a lot of people would park at that farmer's entrance because I'm thinking that was probably when they didn't really want you parking there, and that's probably why I didn't park there. But it's much closer to the trails, so a lot of people like to park there. You walk in and you're actually like halfway through the trail, so you can walk one way and the other and leave. But I know at one point, like I said, they didn't want you parking there, so we didn't.
So back then, you told that his report said old Farm Bureau building. So that be?
I never really knew what that building was. I just remember telling him there was a building there. And if that's where I told him I parked, then that's probably where I parked. Because like I said, we would either park. Obviously, the farmer's entrance was always the most convenient, but there was a bridge, small bridge before the Blue Bridge. I don't know if I got this right. This was Anderson's.
Yes.
So there was a little tiny, it used to be like a one-way bridge. It wasn't even a road anymore. Like, you could either go towards the Blue Bridge
Or you drive under it too.
Yeah, I think you drive.
Now I follow.
It wasn't, that parking lot wasn't there on the other side, so you didn't, but yeah, you would, you went, like I said, you take this road that forced off coming out of Delphi somewhere.
Sorry, he talks so damn loud. And there's a microphone in here, chat. That's why you're wondering how can we hear him so well. They got a mic down there. He should have stopped talking a long time ago.
And then you take a right, and it's just a little road, and there's the people that live along it. But then at the end of the road, it goes up to this, like I said, there's like a parking area where people used to park.
I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
think you can't see it on here, but what you're describing
Probably.
is the road that leads up to this parking area that you're talking. It's out of the side of that.
Sure, it's probably,
Yeah. Okay. So, how far out of the bridge did you go that day when you were out there? Do you remember?
How far what?
How far out onto the high bridge?
I have no idea how many feet it is. The way I always know is there's one of those platform things that stick off the side,
Mhm.
and I usually, years past, like 9, 10, let's see, 6, 7, between 6 and 10 probably. I've actually been across the high bridge back when it was in a little bit better shape, but somewhere in there, 8, 9, 10, somewhere it started getting pretty rugged and stopped going across it. But for the most part, I didn't go past that one whatever the thing is that sticks out. I go out there and kind of look. Like I said, fisherman, I look and see if I see any fish or anything, and then I went back the other way.
I think those were back in the day. If the train was coming and you were out there, then you could possibly get out of the train's way.
Exactly.
I don't think I would still want to be on it when the train came.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So yeah, that day I don't remember what year it was, but it was well before 16, 17. I don't know, just decay.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah.
So if you were
Yes, at this point, they suspect him of the murders. He had made a tip early on that puts him in the scene and the location of everything. The murders happened in 2017. These cops are such a bunch of bumbling fucking idiots. They lost the tips. They didn't follow up on tips. They've lost all kinds of evidence. And by 2022, they're trying again to figure out what happened. And they run into this old tip and they reach out to him and he comes in. And they're suspecting him of these 2 murders. And is he aware that they suspect him? No, because he's an idiot. He's like, I'm helping the cops. I'm a good guy. And yes, he is a chatty Cathy. Yes. You've watched this several times. It's only been out a couple of days, I think. But if you've kept going there, yeah. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is true.
park there, and correct me if I say anything.
The bridge.
Over here, in that building, I'm sorry. So if you're parked there, how did you get on the trail? Where did you walk?
At one point, you either walk down the road, but then at one point they had a trail there. Not a trail, I wouldn't even call it a trail. They had a gravel path that led to the new thing that they were doing. I call it the trailhead. When they started doing all that, there was a trail that would, I think it ran along the road, if I remember right, and then it just cut over to where the trailhead was at. You couldn't really park. I just remember where that path was at. You'd think you could park there, but it's no parking. So you had to walk. You either parked over here and it was actually closer if you went over here and you could just walk the bridge that way. And then if you went this way, it was a little bit further because you walked along the road to
So don't walk along the road, or was there a path in there?
At one point, I think you walked along the road. Honestly, I don't even remember. Where's the trails here? That's why I said at some point, it was probably after they put that little pathway in that we even parked there. I don't think we ever even used that until they put that path there, and it was just because it was the only way to get to trailhead from that side. And like I said, at one point they didn't want you parking down here at this farmer thing, so they put in a gravel path in, and you would park there. So you either parked over there, or you park there and walk down the gravel path, and the path cut over to like where the trailhead thing is.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm saying is I don't know that we ever parked at that little building, whatever it was, until they laid that gravel path to it. I think we thought that was a new, I guess, designated parking area, and that's when we parked there once in a while. We'd still park over here once in a while. It just depended on which. And like I said, there was times when we parked there on and off whenever they didn't have it posted. They didn't want you parking there. And we probably did a time or two when they did have it posted, but we didn't make a habit of it.
So what, that car that was in your garage, would that have been what you drove out there that day?
Oh my God. Let me think here. It would have either been that one or our gray Ford 500. We kind of switch vehicles back and forth. It's kind of because I've oftentimes worked further away from home, and when I was working in Peru, the car's what I say, it's a 16. So prior to that,
Very, very true.
I'd had a little red Ford Focus, and our trucks we get our truck at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So on truck day, I'd be driving over to Peru at like 3 o'clock in the morning. And one day I was driving, I was tired. I mean, there's often times you'd be tired, but this day I was just so tired, like to the point I almost and should have just pulled over. But I made it over there, and I turned off, didn't take the highway all the way up. I took the turn off that takes you into the back way to Peru, and made it all the way in town, and literally I fell asleep. And I woke up when my airbag went off. I veered off the road and hit a SUV parked on the side of the road. And literally that's when I woke up. Like I didn't even know. It took me several seconds, if not a minute, to get my bearings and even figure out what had happened. I still didn't know, because when it hit the SUV, it threw it clear up over the sidewalk into somebody's front porch. Like I literally didn't brake at all. I was asleep, so I hit it full speed. So anyway, I get out and there's not even anything there. I'm like, what did I hit? And there was a person stopped on the other side of the road. Anyway, long story short, they called the police, blah, 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 and I had to that's when I bought that black car.
Mm-hmm. The black car being the 16?
The one in the garage.
Okay.
And so I got that car because I have to drive back and forth and something, just good gas mileage. So my point is I was driving the black car, and then when I transferred and came back to Delphi, I didn't need the gas mileage anymore, and it was a nicer car, so I gave it to my wife. And from that time until earlier this year, I drove the gray car and she drove the black car. Now, if I was going somewhere out of town, a lot of times I would use the black car, depending on how far we're going. The gray car was dependable, but it's just one of those where I guess more recently, I started driving, if I was going to go to Lafayette or something for an appointment or whatever, I'd take the black car just because it's more dependable. And
Yeah, she works at her.
But anyway, yeah. And then during that time period, I drove the gray Ford 500, and she would drive the black car, had her little cat license plate and all that on it. And then when I got her van, the gray car pretty much had it. And I had that in a truck as well. I had a truck for, 3-4 years. I bought it used, and we didn't drive it hardly ever. And it was one of those where get rid of them while they're still worth something. So we traded them both in, and I got the van that she drives now. And then I went back to driving the black car. So
I remember you said you were down to Miami County to see the mom. Mexico. Would you have planned to drive the black car because that was a trip out of town?
I would have, no. During that time, it was still, the gray car was still, it's like the dump car. We bought it brand new. It was 2006. But I just say in the last, 3-4 years, it's not, the car didn't run well. It's just one of those where it's old enough that, you don't want to get over somewhere. Because usually if I am driving, it's because she's at work and I don't want to end up having to get stranded somewhere. But that was more recently, so that's why I don't know which, it was either the gray or the black one that day. It could have been the black one, could have been a gray one.
Okay.
It was 06.
Oh my God!
You get on the trails and say, all 3 girls.
How much more can this man talk? He just won't shut up. Oh, it's a lot of words for a car explanation. Yeah. God, dude talks more than my husband. She has 2.0. She'd be like, he hasn't talked as much. But jeez. Ooh. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is ridiculoso. This is just insane.
Where were these other three girls?
They were up around the trailhead. I mean, I didn't like interact with them. They was up around the trailhead somewhere.
So you walked around.
Like when I say they were leaving, yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming they were leaving, or they came from down where those cars parked and they were going to go back that way. I don't know.
Okay. And then, did you see anybody else when you were out there? Anybody that stand? Anybody else?
Nobody stood out, I guess. I mean, if I did see somebody, it didn't click with me. And of course, my memory was a lot better when I talked to him that day. I don't remember seeing. Like I told him, there may have been somebody on the bridge or something when I was coming back through, but I didn't. The only ones that I really noticed seeing were the three girls.
Okay.
Because I was walking towards them, and I mean, they obviously stood out. And like I said, I remember it looked like an older girl with two younger girls.
Okay.
Just walking the trail.
Okay.
And I guess I just assumed that she was probably watching them or in charge of them or whatever.
And if you thought, like. Okay. If you thought you might have saw somebody when you were coming back through from the bridge, where they were on the bridge?
I don't really remember seeing anybody that day, but I don't know. So if I did see somebody else, they didn't jump out to me or anything else. I don't, like I said, it could have been people down around the cars, but I don't remember. I just remember seeing a couple cars parked over there. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Dan and SUV or something like that.
Okay. And then when you got back to your car, was there any other cars when you got back to your car?
I don't think so. Well, no, because I would have thought through that now.
Okay.
It would have just been mine.
Do you know where you went afterwards when you left there?
I went home that day. I always watched the stock market and trade the stocks a little.
That was something else that they remember the officer recorded something about the stock market. Tell us about that.
I just had a individual trading account with Daytech originally, and I think it was TD Ameritrade. I trade stocks, try to get rich, lose money.
Did that work for you?
On and off it did, actually, but no, it worked really terribly there for a while, and I don't even do it anymore. So that's just too much of a risk.
So did you have a phone or a watch or something you were looking at the stock market on? Or?
I think so. I had a program on my phone to watch stocks. I don't remember exactly when and how long I had it, but yeah, I had a program that I could, depending on the reception you had, of course. If you didn't have any reception, it wouldn't work. And
was it fairly good out there that day?
And that's honestly, I think that's why I went home as quick as I did, because I wanted to get home and watch it on my computer with my stock tickers and all that stuff. So, because I remember why I remember doing that. That was like a hobby, I guess, for me, was watching the stock market and looking at charts and trying to predict what something's going to do and make money. So,
yeah, that's way out of my league.
Well, it was mine too. I didn't realize it at the time.
What were you wearing that day? I mean, you said you put on a jacket. You put on a jacket and
blue jeans, and I'm sure I put on a jacket because I think it was still fairly cool that day. I don't think it was super warm. I would have put on a jacket. I don't know.
No, what kind of jacket did you have then?
And then,
I've had Carhartt jackets over the years.
Colors your jacket?
The one was blue, the one was black. Probably back then it would have been a black one. Had a hood built into it. So it was just a black zip up. Anyway, I don't even think it was a Carhartt. I think it was an off-brand, but it was like a Carhartt. I could have worn that. I've had sweatshirts like what you're on today. Hoodies, jackets. I mean, I've got a little bit of everything. Please.
Anything else? You maybe headgear or anything like that? Wasn't that warm that day, but wasn't that cold either.
I always kept a hat in my coat, so it would have been like a, I don't know what you call them, skull cap, or just not a big fluffy hat, but a small hat.
So cap on your head, and anything else you've been wearing besides like what kind of shoes? I mean, not pretty strange to ask a question like that.
Yeah, there it is, chat. There it is. There it is. There it is. Yes, that's also an old Verizon ringtone, yeah. Yes, a few days later, yes, he did report a few days afterwards. The problem was the police investigation is so incompetent that they lost a bunch of leads and they rediscovered them later. Yes, he's completely incriminating himself. Whether or not he knows it or not, he's providing information that fits into something the police already believe or can prove. So, Why doesn't he just say, I don't remember? Well, I mean, Sleuth, here's part of the issue. He either did it and is a moron, he didn't do it and is trying to be helpful. I mean, typically people try to be helpful. They think they're helping. I mean, this is part of the reason why you think Richard Allen may not have done it. He was trying to be very helpful. There's other times people think they're smarter than the cops and they can talk their way through it. So that's an answer to say, how would he do it if he's guilty? But, you know, people in a situation, they want to help. There was a bad man and he murdered 2 kids. They want to get involved like that. You know, he wants to do his part and help. So that's how this happens. That's how this happens. So
I might probably tell you what kind of tennis shoes I had because I usually make them last a very long time.
Well, I've got shoes that I've had for 10, 12 years probably. It would have been over tennis shoes, or I had military boots that I used to wear, but they just don't fit. And I've been out of the military forever, so I had some combat boots in my closet that I used to wear occasionally. I don't know if I'm still wearing them then or not. I mean, I haven't worn them in years, but could have a pair of work boots. I don't know. So probably over tennis shoes, but if it was wet out, sometimes I wear a boot, like a work boot, or like I said, the combat boots, because they held water out pretty well.
Okay, great.
And I may have told him that day was wearing. I don't remember.
Do you know what the phone you had back then? And you just found it from again?
If I do, it's in the closet somewhere. I'm sure to recycle it by now.
Oh, really?
Because I've had this for. I got one guy. Looks on me.
this is just, yeah, he was National Guard. But yeah, this is so stupid. So stupid.
I just went to look at. I don't know. It's been a few years now. Several years.
Why are you talking to the cops, brother? Why are you talking to the cops?
I wasn't. I know that since that time, I know I've gotten this phone. I don't remember when. It's not been a super long time, but it wasn't. I've had it long enough that I don't remember when I got it.
Do you have that picture of that car? No.
I don't think I do. Picture of the car on the road. Here we have that. Phonetically. Anyway. So, a couple things I wanted to ask you after I check my phone, it's just like ringing like crazy. What we would like to do is to be able to confirm some of the information that you've given us so far, to be able to examine your phone. As you're well aware, phones go everywhere with everybody, and they tell a story about a lot of what people do. And sometimes the information on a phone can confirm, or, you know, maybe not necessarily confirm information about what somebody is saying. Okay. We have the ability to be able to extract the data from a phone and be able to look at it and be able to tell where somebody was at.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Would that be something you would allow us to take care of, do today, and get it done?
How long are you going to have my phone?
Well, we ideally would like to have a phone that you have. When you got that phone today.
Oh, no, Richard, no. Dick, can I call you Dick? Because you're acting like a dickhead. No, Rick. No. No, can we do this? No. Can we do that? No. Can we? No. The answer is always no.
Did you take the data from the old phone and move to the new phone?
I have no idea. I mean, I know. I always try to save contacts.
Right. So if you had the phone, like, where'd you get the phone at?
Yeah, the passcode is.
I go through Ting. It's an online service, and a lot of people don't know about it. It's really inexpensive, and I've had it for years now.
What's it called? Huh? What was it called?
Ting.
Ting, like Ting.
Ting.
Never heard of it.
It's online.
So you didn't really go to a store somewhere?
I used to, but I for years now we've been with Ting. You pay full price for your phone, and they have discounted ones, and so usually you'll pay a couple $100 for a phone, or you can pay $600-700, whichever. But as far as the service, I mean, I only pay around $40 a month for 2 phones, and that's pretty much everything.
Your service providers at Ting themselves, or is it another?
They, like, I think right now it's probably Verizon. It's one of those deals they use. Of course, all of them do that anymore. They use each other's
corporate towers.
Yeah.
But I think it's like my phone. Some of it depends on what type of phone you have too. Mine is based off of, pretty sure it's off of Verizon right now.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Do you remember what you had back then? 2017.
I know I didn't have this one yet. I don't even know if they were making those yet.
I mean, as far as service provider.
Well, I've had Ting. I've had Ting for several years now.
So they may,
I probably would have had Ting.
okay. They may have changed service providers on you. Ting may have used a different service provider.
I don't like, since I've had this phone, I've never had them come out and say, hey, we're changing your provider. It's just I guess kind of the home system that it works off of. Like I said, it's Verizon. I'm trying to think if it's ever been, you hear about AT&T anymore, but it could have been that at one point.
Okay.
I never had it before. We lived in Delphi though, so I know, I'm pretty sure because I always got my phone. I work at Walmart, so I get my service plans through them because I got discounts through them. So I know it's been since I left Walmart, so.
Okay.
I mean, so I went through regular periods prior to that. I've been with Ting forever.
Well, so then what I would like to do, if it's okay with you, would be to have an opportunity to look at the phone and examine some of the data on it. Really would like to get to the phone that you had back then. If you think it's in a closet,
I don't know. Actually, I don't have to. My wife comes home. She'll know. If we have it, she'll know exactly where it's at.
Okay, all right. So if it's okay with you,
She recycled them, but she may not.
we could start with this phone. We'll be able to extract the data from that if that's okay with you. And I have a form that I read to folks before we get started on doing something like that.
Yes.
And it goes basically like this: you have the right to require that a search warrant be obtained before you search your property. You have the right to refuse consent to a warrantless search. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before giving consent to such a search. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one would be appointed for you. I've read the state rights. I understand what rights are. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I consent to a warrantless search by the officers of the police department following described property, and it'll be your cell phone and another carrier, and authorize these officers to seize any item of data which they consider as evidence. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure or coercion of any kind has been used against me. And I would need to have the passcode. Is your phone open, or is it just a passcode, or is it a pattern, face, or what?
There's a finger thing, and then there's a code override. I guess
But any questions you have, I'll try to answer.
just I don't know. It's sounding more like you're like I'm not going to be somebody's fall guy. I thought we were talking.
I want to help you.
I thought you were trying to find
So
what I
everybody
might have that'd be helpful, but that's absolutely what we're doing.
everyone we talk to, we're trying to eliminate them from any suspicion of being involved in this case.
Sure.
So
I get that.
what we want to try to do is get as much information together to be able to
It's
show.
insane.
Okay, we've looked and then
My
anything.
God.
So you understand what I'm saying?
Sure, I get that. I just, like I said, honestly, it amazes me that we're even talking. I mean, it's been so long, and I haven't thought about this much, and it's just like I don't want to be somebody's fall guy, and we're going to try to make pieces of a puzzle fit somewhere they don't fit, so we can close this thing. I get, and I'm not saying you guys, please don't think I'm questioning your integrity. That's not what I'm saying. I just,
You probably should have been, though, Rick.
okay. I mean, I guess that's where I'm at. It doesn't seem like a simple conversation we're having. It seems more like you think I might have done it. So
I understand what you're saying. I completely agree.
Oh. He even realizes I got a shitty feeling about this. Oh, my God. Rick. Oh, no. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Buddy. Whoa. Buddy, come on. Oh. Jeez, I need to drink a beer after listening to this. Yes. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Terrain. Pull up. Pull up. Whoop, 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 whoop. Altitude, altitude. Yeah, by then he thinks it's time to talk himself out of trouble. Yep. He didn't see all these leading questions? No. No. Yes. Well, you're being entrapped, but then you realize you're stepping in anyway. I mean, really, so here's the point, guys. Let's hypothetically, I know some of you out there don't believe Richard Allen's innocent. But assume with me for argument's sake. Or as I say in the law profession, assuming arguendo. People want to think they're helping the police catch a bad man. So they are overly talkative. They want to provide information. This routinely happens. He's trying to help out any way he can. Because he's sitting there saying, well, I'm a good guy. Good guys help the police. Good guys provide information. You got felted. Yes, this is Richard Allen from the Delphi murders. Yep, the Delphi murders. But yeah, this is where we are. So yes, there's a reason why Richard Allen is helping. Because he thinks he's doing the right thing. He's being a good citizen. And this is the problem. They don't care. They don't care. And he thinks, well, I'm helping, so it doesn't matter. Because the police don't go after people or ever get it wrong or abuse it. So I'm helping. It's not a trap because I'm not a bad guy. God, this is so bad. This is so freaking bad. So,
what you're saying and how I would feel from your point of view. Okay.
Yeah.
But from our situation, what we're trying to do is be able to show what all you were doing that day. Take a look at everything. Make sure that we can show that what you're saying is true. Okay. Mm-hmm. So that we can be able to say to someone else, whoever's prosecuting this case, look, we looked at Mr. Allen. He's not our guy, and we looked at him because we looked at his phone. I was going to ask you something else too. Be able to look at your car and also. With your permission, we'd like to look at your house. And so all these things are very, very important just to be able to.
No, I get that. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to, I mean, if you get to a point where you think that I need further investigating, you want to get a warrant, that's fine, but I'm not going to have somebody going through my house and everything.
Sure. I just want to be honest.
I guess I'm starting to feel more like your main lead or something here, and I'm not going to do that.
Well, did you understand that because we are so far into this, mm-hmm. that I'm sure you see the news, you see state police doing their thing. Well, we
for a great while, yeah.
We at the Cook County Sheriff's Department, and he's an investigator with the prosecutor's office.
Sure.
We decided to pick through the very beginning of this again.
I guess.
We're talking to everybody that was out there that day and trying to cross the T's, dot the I's. It's nothing more than that.
And I get that part of it.
So there's no fall guy. That's not.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not trying to question anybody's integrity. I just, I guess like I said, at the point that you think I might have actually done this, then if you want to get a warrant search my house, my car, my orifices or whatever, that's fine. I mean, I don't mind you looking at my phone or whatever, but yeah. I don't think I guess my point is I don't think
we're just asking.
Sure, right. Just asking.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm. So it is what it is, and we have to ask. So
yeah, I'm not going to have police out going through my house and stuff. That's just not.
That's fine. Mm-hmm. That's fine.
News leaks and somebody here. I just don't need that kind of.
Well, we're trying to keep this very discreet because we do understand what you're talking about. It came out of a Buick, which is not normally.
I understand.
So, we're not interested in making your life or anything like that. We're trying to get these things figured out.
At least he's smart to say, I don't want you going through my house. So you get a partial point here, Rick. You get half a gold star. But in the meantime, just, oh my God. Also, hold on one second, chat.
Sure. Get it taken care of. So, sure. With that, so you said you would let us look at the phone?
Sure.
Okay, great. And you help us get to the other phone, too?
I'll see if I can find it.
Okay, all right. So let me go back to that form, and we'll get this phone back to our team. We can do that. So I covered this with you. What kind of phone is it? Can you tell?
It's a Google something or other. It's a Google. Pixel.
Pixel, okay. It's a black phone, okay. And what is the passcode?
2045.
45, okay. All right, great. So I read this to you, so if you have any questions, do you have any questions about your rights about being able to do this? Or we just need your signature to verify that you understood everything?
Oh
You know
my
what? Let me
God.
talk to my wife before I do anything.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I don't want to do this because I'm cool with it, but at the same time, I don't want her to get pissed off because I don't know.
It's okay.
We watch TV shows and stuff, and I just, like, I don't want to be associated with this
Oh my
thing, obviously,
God.
more than anybody else does. And am I an angel of a person? No. I mean, I'm like anybody else, and I guess I don't want you, maybe I don't want you looking at.
I'm not an angel of a person. Why? Like, that's the stuff you shouldn't be saying. Oh my God, just.
Every website I visited, and so I think I'll talk to my wife, and if she's cool with it, then we'll do it.
Can I, I'm going to get something, I want to show you something just really quick. I'll be right back.
Use the crusher
To recycle. Sure, you want to know it?
No, I did.
One of these is colder than the other. So,
Yes.
but no, we're trying to give you a hard time.
I understand.
Again, we're just trying to get these things taken care
And I
of
get
for
that.
a long time. So,
I get that, but
But do you
I
really
guess
get it?
that's not that I
Do you really get it? Do you really get it? Because I don't think you do get it.
ever question anybody's integrity, but
that's fine.
it's just I know that it's at a point where, I mean, you want closure. You want closure for a family, and I'm not, again, I'm not. I don't know you from Adam.
No, it's fine.
I just, but you also can't say it's never happened where pieces of and we find a piece that's close to fitting and make it fit, and I just don't.
I just want you to see why we came to you. This is this is from the beginning.
Okay.
It's basically tip 74.
Okay.
That's
I understand. I get you.
I don't want you to think that we're just randomly coming after you.
And you've been,
Oh, I don't think you're coming after me. It's not that.
you've been completely honest with this. You said, well, what the information you can see right there, Mr. Allen was on the trail between 13:30 and 15:30.
That's straight. I mean, I don't think that.
Time was.
I know I wasn't out there that late. I don't know what I told him that day, but I know I wasn't out there till 3:30 or so. Yeah, it's 3:30.
That would be right around 1:30 until 3:30.
No, I'm saying when I left. 1:30 would have been more of the time I would have left.
Okay.
Not gotten there. Because the only reason I remember is because I know I left around 11 o'clock or so because they were getting ready to go do lunch. And I wasn't going to do the lunch thing with everybody, so I just went home and was going to watch the stock market. Thought it was a nice day, and I'd go take a walk on the trail before I did.
Yeah. So things we're asking you is nothing any different than we ask anybody else around here.
Yeah, and that's all the stuff you told us, and there's nothing inconsistent here. So,
I guess I was actually watching my stock, so it must have been working. You asked about that. Vehicles parked at High Bridge Trailhead. It wasn't, I mean, it was at Farmer's Pull-Off is where I was seeing
Different people call.
Sure, gotcha. And you have the information off my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes, that's what I'd really like to know, that cell phone in particular.
But again, that's why we're here.
sure, and I get that.
We're trying to put, if there's any pieces you missed or anything that you can recollect.
Sure, and that's honestly, that's what I thought this was. And I mean, there's nothing else I can really think of. But as far as searching my house and my phones and like.
Well, let me say, I haven't got to that yet. I just want to let you know those things have been very helpful for us, okay? I'm not necessarily asking right now.
How they've been helpful.
Eliminating people.
What we do is we can say for sure, okay, we were, and we didn't find anything. Okay, that's how we estimate the successfulness.
And I guess I see that. So, I guess when you say progress, it's like we're still where we were. And I'm not saying you haven't made progress.
No.
You obviously have. I'm just saying, like, we're here because we haven't found the guy that did this. And I'm not going to turn into that guy. I'm not going to, I don't want to become the target of something because, like I said, we watch a Dateline every week. We watch everything, and it's one of those.
You know, I watch all these videos of these guys sitting there just spilling their guts to the cops, and I'm like, wow, that seemed like idiots. So that's why when I sit here and do this, I kind of have a bad feeling, but I'm going to keep going anyway. Oh, good Lord. Good Lord, Rick.
I mean, there's nothing that's going to tie me to it, and I'm not worried about that. To have people come and start searching my house and stuff. I mean, my wife doesn't even know I'm here talking to people. So, but I mean, I can look for the phone. I'll talk to her, and I mean, obviously, anytime that you feel that you need that information quicker, I know you can get it. It's not like you can't get it if you want it. I'm not an idiot.
What information would that be?
Searching my house, searching my car, and searching my...
Well, and again, the reason I said search your house and your car would be to be able to say to someone, look, we did actually take care of this information. We know for sure, okay, what was there, what we found, and that gives us the answer we need for a particular situation that we're dealing with.
Sure.
It doesn't mean that we're trying to put anybody in a box, or anything like that. I know you brought up several times wanting to be able to resolve a case. No, what we want to do is be able to find a person who...
Absolutely. That's what I mean.
Not try to put anybody in that box that wasn't responsible for what happened. Okay?
I understand that.
So,
I'm not saying you just want to label somebody, but, you know, I had nothing to do with it. I haven't been a part of this investigation. I mean, I have with what I did, and now I'm obviously you question me further, and that's fine, but
sure.
It's a horrible thing, and I mean, I don't want to be any more involved in it than what I have to be. If I thought I had something that was useful, by all means, I'd give you anything I had. I just don't know what's going to be useful to you.
Sure, I understand. So that's one of the reasons why we asked for the phone, is to be able to nail down that aspect of it, especially the phone that would have been involved in that situation, which would be the phone you gave the information on to the officer.
Sure.
And also, something that would be very important to look at would be your car, because when somebody does something that's involved in something like this,
sure,
there might be traces of biological information and data or substances that will...
Yes, Cannon, these girls were murdered in 2017, and this is in 2022. This is a cold case, and it took, 5 years for them to make the arrest. And they basically refocused their efforts on their lead, and they found this lead for Richard Allen that they forgot to follow up on. So
behind inside the vehicle. So
sure, I mean,
that makes sense. So what would be helpful for us to be able to look at your car to be able to determine if there be anything like that inside of it forensically. Okay, forensically means that we have a close examination of the car.
I know that. And then again, like everything else that we're telling you, then we can say we looked at Rick, we looked at his car. There's nothing in his car. That's the point. That's the whole point of everything.
Yeah, this fell left though, guys. I mean, I'm going to talk to my wife before I do anything. I mean, this affects her as much as it affects me. And I know you guys don't talk to people. I don't hear a bunch of rumors out there, but I mean, I don't want anybody knowing that I talk to you guys.
Oh, I understand.
It's just not something
we don't do that.
Sure.
That's not something we want to do at all. So we don't just go out randomly talk to people or stuff like this.
Couple I understand.
Okay. So with the phone, you say you want to take some more time to think about it. A couple things that I wanted to ask you about. Would you mind, sir, if we stepped out for a little bit and
Sure.
do that? That'll be okay with you? Give me just a few minutes right back.
My God, this is danger, 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 danger. God almighty, Rick. So, guys, why is he wanting to talk to a lawyer or talk to his wife? He's like, I need to talk to my wife before I let you guys take my car for the weekend, or take my phone away, or come to our house and tear it up. That's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. That's what they're looking for, ultimately. What are the odds that he cleaned his car quite good, but you always forget something. That's why people get caught. You're never 100% good on forensics. But he just keeps going. And he's like, yeah, I got to talk to my wife before I let you guys just take all my shit. So he probably doesn't want to get his wife pissed off at him. So no, like he's thinking about that. He's not thinking about the legality of searches. He just doesn't want to inconvenience his wife because his wife will probably bitch him out. But yes, he should have been calling an attorney. He should have been using his free time to find a goddamn lawyer, and he doesn't. I mean, here he is just fucking around. You know, also all these cups, they're gonna take for DNA. So take stuff with you. Do not leave evidence behind. God forbid you're in this situation. I've done that before. I've been like, I've had a client before at a meeting with police, and I've taken pop cans away. I've taken water bottles away. One time I had a client, he had a runny nose. And the detective's like, I'll take care of that. And I grabbed an extra couple of Kleenexes and grabbed the snotty ones. I said, we'll take care of that. And I handed it to my client. I told him, hold on to this until I tell you to get rid of it. You know, we walk outside and throw it in a garbage can. And we make sure they don't know which garbage can we threw it in. Like he walks, back to his house, gets rid of it. You never give shit up. There's one time where, I thought about it when my client had a water bottle. I almost thought, because it was hot outside that day, and we got outside, I was like, I'm going to take a swig out of this too, just to fucking throw their DNA off. But no, I took the water bottle and threw it away on the other side of town. So it's a thing you can do.
Hey, how you doing? So what I want to do is kind of show you some of the stuff that we do have here. Why it's important. Why it's important. We get your cooperation. One of the things that you told us was that you have driven out there.
Now, chat, this is psychological warfare now. And why do we know this? Back here is the door. Back here's the door. So Richard Allen, to leave, has to go this way to the door. Look what's happened now. He's being blocked. Right now, there's an enemy to a hostile person in front of him. Hold on here. There is a hostile in front of him. There is now a hostile to the side. He's boxed in to his left, and right behind him, he's got nowhere to run. This is psychological now. These people are moving in for the kill. People are, you're sitting there, you're like, wow, those enemy guys are sitting in the bushes, and they all have it's like you're walking through the woods and you're see a bunch of guys standing there, and they all drop down. And in the meantime, they have green face paint on, and they have helmets, and there's branches sticking off the helmets, and they disappear into the brush. And as you're walking along, you hear a bunch of safeties go click, 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 click. And you see rifle barrels sticking out of the trees. And you're like, I want to walk down I want to keep walking down the path. No. You do not do this. Was he read his rights? Yes. Yes, this is a cauldron. He is surrounded. He is now surrounded. Before, there was an open route of escape. 112. Okay, so we'll go back about 15, 20 minutes. Notice, before it was just the guys on one side. He was like this, and he couldn't, this was it. Guess what Richard Allen could do? Richard Allen could get up and go. And nobody was in the way. It was a pretty open setup. But now they're on to him. He is the bad man. And he's surrounded. Once again, chat, he's surrounded on all four sides. Bow. 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 And then bow. They got him boxed in. They're looking to put him down. How soon after this interview is he arrested? About a week and a half. About a week and a half, because he comes back for the second interview. And they arrest him then. He watches Dateline. Shouldn't he know this? Yeah, but once again, people are stupid. So.
Out there in your car, and you think you've driven out there in your car. We have a picture of your car that shows it was going out to the trails that day. Okay, and now one of the important things for us is to help understand exactly where you were at that day, what was going on. You've already told us that you were out there. That's really, really important.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So with that, what I wanted to do is try to help you work through this whole thing. I'm going to be completely honest with you. We've been able to talk to your wife, talk to your daughter already. Well, this is all happening. We had time to do all that.
Sure.
And we've heard that you had some issues, even at one point put a gun in your mouth that you were going to do something to yourself, maybe for years or so.
Yes.
And, you know, look, there's a lot here that we need to get clarified, okay? As you well know, we have pictures of an individual that was on the bridge. And to some great degree, you described that individual as wearing blue jeans, a jacket of the same color as that. He described a hat. It's hard to see the shoes, but they're kind of brown. Okay? And this is a picture that was taken with the phone of one of the girls.
Okay, I understand that.
And the question needs to be, is that...
Look at him. He still doesn't understand. He's just like, what? He's like, I don't follow you. I don't get it. What are you trying to get at? He still doesn't figure it out. And that's part of the reason why I think Richard Allen probably didn't do it. He has a look of complete stupidity on his face. Like, he is has no idea what he's done.
You.
If it was taken with the girl's phone, that is absolutely, I mean, it's not me, but I never have met these girls before, so even if I thought it looked like me, if it was taken with the girl's phone, there's no way it could be. I've never met them. I've never seen them.
All right, so that's...
And as far, well, and let's just stop there. As far as my psychological well-being,
okay.
I've been dealing with that for years. It's not something...
And that's the problem. He didn't even, oh my God, they've already talked to my wife and my kids. They've already done like a background interview on me. That hasn't triggered him to like, oh shit, this is it. And now they're confronting him, and now he's starting to get defensive, and it's like, dude, you got to fuera. You got to get out of there. It's too late now, but you need to get out. Ooh, buddy.
New. It's not something because I went out and killed girls. Now I've got psychological problems. Have I had issues? Did I stick a gun? I know how a gun works, and I wasn't going to shoot myself that night. It was probably a cry for help that night. You've obviously talked to my wife, so it is what it is. But I know that you haven't talked to anybody that knows me, has been around me, my family, not my family, that thinks that I may have been involved in this. I wouldn't believe it.
This image, this person right here, he's wearing like a Carhartt jacket, just like you just told us.
Okay.
He's wearing the same clothing that you just told us. We just need to know what happened. Why?
Sure. I said I was wearing blue jeans. Now, I think blue jeans is a pretty common thing that people wear. And
You're not going to convince them. You're not talking your way out of this. You're not talking your way out of this, dude. Dude. Oh. Oh, God. Do I think he's innocent or guilty? I think I still lean towards not guilty. Do I still lean towards innocent? Sure. Just because of the misconduct during the investigation and the misconduct by the prosecution. At the very least, he's not guilty. More likely, I think he's actually innocent. But yes, this guy, I'm helping. Put yourself in prison. So... yeah, is he eligible for a retrial? It depends on what the Court of Appeal says. It depends on how his appeal goes, but it's probably not going to go anywhere, and he's going to go away forever. So, I mean, he's eligible, sure, but he has to win the appeal, and winning an appeal is like winning a lottery ticket. It's almost impossible. Stop defending him. Well, I got news for you. I'm not going to. So we'll see what happens. But appeals are for losers. You've already lost your case, and now you're asking for it to get overturned. He's done. It's going to be probably at least 2.5 years before we hear anything. But it's he's done. He's done ski. So.
I said I was probably wearing a black or a blue coat. It could have been a Carhartt, a zip up with a hoodie in it. I've had black ones. I've had a blue one, or a blue one and a black one. Like, I guess, you're taking what I told you I was wearing and saying that that's me in it.
So the other kind of,
And you're serious. You literally want me to, like, you want me to say that's my car?
we looked at it matches everything. That is your car.
Okay. Well, I'm saying that picture, it's like, okay,
there's zero doubt.
Okay.
That you.
Okay, that's
We're
fine.
just showing you what we have and why we need to eliminate it.
Well, sure.
That's the point.
Sure. All right. Well, we're all done here.
Here's
Unless you want to arrest me. That's fine.
here's what I want to say to you at this point.
Well, there you go. We're all done here. Fucking arrest me or let me go. We're now an hour and 15 minutes into this. Oh, God.
Look, we have a lot of information here. We need clarification.
Sure.
And that's exactly why we're talking to you at this time.
We need
Well, that's
information
what
needs clarified. My lawyer will help you clarify it later. Fuck off.
What we want to do is be able to take a look at your cell phone, take a look at all the data, help us out. Yeah, it'd be great. Or, conversely, in this situation, we've already talked to your employer, and we already know that and we haven't told them what we know about this. We haven't said anything about that. But they say you're a nice guy. And I believe you're a nice guy.
Oh, okay.
You don't?
I have no reason. We paint a picture for you. We went to your house.
So you got a job to do. And I get that.
We went to your house.
You sit down here,
We went to your house.
we're having a conversation, and
We went to your house this morning, and what we did was knock on the door. You let us inside. We had a nice conversation, and that's great. That's really positive. You came here to the center and drove down. You rode in the car with us.
Yeah.
And we had a chance to sit down and talk. And not a fellow who is, I think, a mean fellow. You're not the kind of guy that would go out and do something malicious to somebody. So a lot of what we're trying to get figured out here today, right now, is exactly what's going on here. Why is this information showing us one thing, but then you're telling us another?
what is it showing you? What this information? I'm going to say that is, just say that is my car. I told you I could have been driving that car.
Yeah, that's right.
And I don't know what it is but this seems to have taken a turn, You're sitting here, you're talking to me, you're asking me things, and I get that.
Most people,
But now it's turning into,
most people have wanted to be eliminated from this.
well, sure.
That's what.
I don't want to be included to begin with. So until the point that you have something that tells you that I did this and you want to subpoena or arrest me or something, I've got nothing to worry about. So I'm not real concerned here, but your attitudes towards me have definitely changed, and I don't like the fact that...
They never changed, Rick. They were always this way. They were always this way, brother. Oh, my God. Oh, my gosh. Oh. Oh, my God.
it feels more like I'm being interrogated, and but so then you're going to tell me that you've already talked to my wife and my daughter and stuff. Like, how straightforward is that?
Well, what would you? Okay, let's turn everything around. Tell me what
He's so close to figuring it out.
you would do differently if you were in our situation. You had this information. How would you react? What would you do? You do the same.
This is the trick. They ask you, well, what would you do if you were in our situation? This is the trick. These are their tricks.
Thing that we were doing right now.
What information is it that you have?
We have.
You have that I was out there, and I told you from the very beginning that I was out there.
Yes, you did.
I didn't hide it.
Did you see this guy?
I didn't know.
Okay.
I told you, I see the only person that I clearly remember seeing that, and this isn't from the day, I mean, this is the next day. The only people or person that came into my mind were those 3 girls that I seen.
Richard, we're not upset with you, not mad at you, anything like that. We're just trying to get to the bottom of this, okay? No, I'm not, I'm not here to give you a hard time. I'm just here to try to get the situation straightened out. Mm-hmm. And what we want to do is simply get to the truth. What would help us get to the truth is being able to look inside of some of the things you're talking about, okay?
And I get that.
Okay.
And maybe on the other side of things, sure. And on the other side of things, if I thought I had something that was going to help you, that would, what do I have that's going to help you?
Okay. Well, I have some questions we can go through here, if you don't mind. And
I think we're done.
We have some other questions here that we could go through here. And what I could do,
questions?
What does that hurt? Some of the questions that we can ask you are simply this. And I don't want you to feel like these questions all sound strange, and it'd be very, even accusing in nature, but I want you to understand I'm not trying to offend you. But I get help us out by...
I love how they just talk to him, and he's such a dope. He calms down and says, like, okay, you can keep sliding your dick inside me, officer. Jesus, man.
Getting to a little bit farther along in this matter.
So, I don't know. Like I said, you went, you talked to my daughter and my wife. What do you want? I can't tell you what happened. I can tell you that if that picture was, I mean, you can sit and take anybody and say, well, if they were wearing this and wearing that, that could be them. If that picture was taken from one of the girls' phones, here's the problem with that. Because I've never met them.
No, but listen, here's the problem with that. You know why you can put a lot of people and say they're wearing blue jeans and a blue coat, but you know what the difference is? No, you said you were there.
God almighty. Yeah, this is just... I don't know what the break was there, chat, but also, you guys want to see proof of Clyde? Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Miss Clyde America. Hi, Bubba. Why is your ear wet? No, it just looks wet. All right. I didn't know his generation knew what gaslighting was. Yeah. Yes. Oh. But this is just a great example, guys, of how stupid this is. This is just complete. Yes, puppy. Yes, this is Clyde. This is just such a disaster. This is such a disaster for Richard Allen. And guys, I remember we talked about this when we learned about the, going back to the beginning of the case when he said during his interview, why, yes, I do have a 40 cal SIG 226. Why do you ask? Oh. So this is just awful. This is a self-felt. Yes, it is. This is a massive own goal.
Well, sure, I did. We have people that saw you.
Okay. Ricky said you were out on the bridge yourself.
There aren't that many people that saw me. I mean, I'm sure I didn't miss that many people.
See, and now you're like, there are not that many people who saw me. So now you're admitting there were people there who saw you. You know people saw you there. You know that people were there. Do you understand why this all sounds like just, oh, God. God almighty, dude. And now they got him upset, so now he's going to defend himself. This is all part of the hustle. This is all part of their hustle. This is all part of the mental games they will play with you.
They walked behind me, I guess.
You said that you were out on the bridge, this bridge, yourself that day around the time when this happened.
No, I didn't.
You said you walked out onto the bridge. When we talked to you earlier, you said that you walked out to about the first platform or within that area down the bridge. That's what you told us. So we know that you were on the bridge.
Of course I was.
Okay?
And I told you that.
And with that, we can say that, is this person you? That's the question. Is that person you? That's the question we have to answer.
Sure.
Okay? So if that person is you, we know this person followed the girls all the way to the other side of the bridge, and then told them to go down the hill.
So, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like you're saying, don't.
Okay, so the bridge here. Okay, this is the girls walking towards the other side of the bridge from where the trailhead is at.
The other side.
The other side of the bridge. And this person falls.
They've already, like, he is too stupid to understand they are now officially have accused him. He is too stupid to understand they have officially accused him. Not even alluded to or maybe thinking about it. They're saying, we think you did it.
Followed them all the way to the other side of the bridge where the...
Yeah. So let's just...
And told them to go down the hill.
Okay, so let me stop here. I don't appreciate you trying to talk me into this. No, this is what I said. You're trying to change my words around. I told you I was on the bridge. Now, you just told me...
Yes, their job is to use your words against you. They are going to twist them and flip them and do whatever they can to them. Yes, that's their job.
This is the trailhead side of the bridge.
Over here on this
And
side.
you're saying I told you I walked on the bridge.
You said you walked on that bridge that day.
And that first trestle is somewhere,
Back there? Okay.
it's somewhere over there.
Help me understand. Okay, you came out this far. We know...
I did.
You
I
came
didn't
out
go out that far.
You came out that far, is what you told us.
I'm not going to tell you how, I can't tell by that how far out I was.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, you're saying...
And yes, Chet, this is correct. There's a reason why this guy left. It's meant to now, because remember we said before, how was Richard Allen set up? He was being surrounded. We had here, 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 and here. He was boxed in. Well, now, when the officer leaves, remember, it's opened up again. It makes it less confrontational. Sure, he's arguing with this guy right now. They're arguing, but this is all open. So it's like it's less confrontational, less threatening. And now Richard Allen is just engaged in arguing with this guy. And people like to fight. Regardless of who you are, you like to fight and argue.
That's me, and you're saying this is the far side of the bridge. I don't even go out that far anymore. I haven't for years.
Mm-hmm. Okay, for years. But back then, that was in 2017. Okay.
And see how that works? It's not like he's saying you just did it. He's saying back when you did this, you did it. This is just a disaster. This is just a disaster. This is a disaster. This is a disaster. Oh, God. It's a disaster. It's a disaster, chat. Oh. Were these videos shown in court? I believe they were. I don't know for sure. We don't know, though, ultimately, because we don't know what the fuck was shown in court. Because we had a secret trial. So, this is just... Yeah, but Kathy, we don't know if these are shown in court, ultimately. Now, Bear Jew, I still don't know how valid those are, because remember, all the time he's doing this, he's in psychological duress. But are those problems? Yeah, and the jurors even said, I did it, I killed him. Yeah, that pretty much sealed the deal for them. But do I think that he got a fair trial? No, I don't. It was a horribly governed trial. So, yes, they were. This is all exhibits from the trial. I mean, here's the thing. I understand they're saying that, but we didn't get to see it. Remember, I don't know how this all got presented. I don't know how everything happened. I wish I could have seen it with my own eyes. I'm sorry that I don't trust Judge Gull or Nick McClelland to be honest about things. Yes, the Detective Holman video, sure, they saw it. Yes. But this one, like I said, we don't know what they saw. Just remember, we weren't allowed to be there for some reason. We had to have a secret trial. Some of it wasn't in duress. Some of it was. I wish we'd have seen it. Yeah, but remember, Judge Gull felt for some reason we didn't have to watch it, and I don't like secret trials. I don't like secret trials by incompetent people. Yes, Bob, Andrew, and a few friends of mine were there, yeah, and they were not convinced. And I trust them far more than I trust Nick McClelland or Francis Gull. Yes, and I trust Lawyer Lee too. So they definitely should have been more transparent. Oh, they should have been loads transparent. They should have had a new judge assigned once Judge Gold demonstrated her straight up incompetence and her inability not to be treating the defense like shit. But we didn't get that. So anyways, here we go.
The question is this you?
No.
Okay. So you're telling me that this person was out there on the bridge, wore the same clothing that you had on that day, but you didn't see them?
You can't tell that's a black Carhartt coat, a blue Carhartt coat, a pullover. I told you I could have been wearing this.
The two kinds of clothing you said you wore that day was either a black Carhartt coat or a blue Carhartt coat. Okay, you said you had blue jeans, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've had a jacket.
Okay, so put yourself in my chair.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not going to tell you I wasn't wearing a black Carhartt that day. I told you I could have been. I don't know if that's a black Carhartt, and if it is, it's not mine, it's his.
And you said you have a hat. You normally wear a skull cap.
I said I carry one. So if I was wearing one, it would be like a skull cap or a smaller type of hat or something.
Okay. So this is the situation we're at, okay? Basically this. Either you were out there to do this to the girls, or you were out there to be able to introduce the girls to somebody else.
Okay. Did not find anything that points in that direction. I mean, it's not me. You're not going to make me believe it's me. You're not going to find anything that ties me to those murders. So I'm not really that concerned. You know, you went from trying to, I don't know what you want to say, get my trust and then slowly lure me into telling you I killed somebody, and I'm not going to.
That's exactly what they're doing, you moron. That's exactly what they're doing. They're luring you in. They've drawn you in. They sunk their hooks and you bid on it. And they're just reeling you in, and you're just like, oh, I'm swimming along. And you're like, oh, wait, that's a boat. No, I don't want to go there. And it's too late. You already bit, and they reeled you in. Like, you idiot. Remember, if Richard Allen never gets another trial, remember, use this just to protect your own ass.
What you want to say, get my trust and then slowly lure me into telling you I killed somebody, and I'm not going to do it. You know, I don't know where this change course.
I'm not trying to give you a hard time, really not. I just want you to put yourself in the situation where we as police officers are looking at all the evidence that we have and what you've told us right now, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, not trying to give you a hard time, just want to make sure that we get everything taken care of.
Yeah, I'm not trying to give you a hard time. You've admitted to being dressed like the killer. I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but I think you fucking did it. Like, come on. But this is the game they play. These are the techniques. This is the psychological manipulation they do to people.
That's why we wanted to look at the things that we wanted to look at.
And that's not going to happen now. I mean, like I said, we're done here. So arrest me or take me home.
I understand. So
arrest me or take me home. I'm done. This is stupid.
There you go. Finally, arrest me or take me home. Like, it's time to fuck or walk.
So on that day, you went out there on the bridge, and that you were wearing the same clothing, basically the same clothing that this person here is wearing.
That's what you think. I don't know how you can tell that that's a black Carhartt coat.
Now you're re-engaging with them. You already said, take me home or arrest me. And now you argue with them or no. All he says, I'm done. I want to go home. Please let me go home.
Which is what I told you, a black or blue Carhartt coat. Never mind. This is ridiculous. You're trying to tell me that I gave you a description of this guy and I didn't. I mean, we all looked at this thing for months and years, and to me that doesn't even look like a Carhartt coat.
We can't say it's not, can you? I mean, neither one of us can.
You're right.
Can't say it's not. I mean, we can't say that it's not.
And notice, he's admitting, yeah, I actually don't know what that is. I just accuse you of being a murderer now and dressed like that guy. I actually don't know what it is now. This is the bullshit cops pull.
The Carhartt coat.
He's trying to back down. He's trying to gain the friendship of Richard Allen back, gaining the rapport. They have a script. They're trained on this, guys. They're trained to mind fuck you.
can't say that that hat isn't some of the one that you have had at one point. So,
Okay.
with all those things in view,
You've lost my trust. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. This is stupid. Now you pissed me off.
well, I'm sorry about that.
Okay.
And I have,
Are you arresting me?
well, I really want to try to get
Are
this
you
thing worked out.
arresting
Okay, I want to try to get this thing worked out.
Am I free to leave or not?
You've always been free to leave.
Thank you. You're an asshole.
Should have fucking done this an hour, like an hour and 26 minutes ago. Like, see that, chat? We should have seen this. Like, right now. I'm getting out 16 seconds in. Brad saying he wasn't blocked in. He was at the time. It's meant to, like, it's not a physical, like, they were going to tackle him. This is meant to be psychologically obstructive. It's meant to make you feel as though you're cornered. It's meant to make you feel on the defensive. It's meant to pressure you. It's meant to cause problems. It's not meant to make you feel like everything's fine. This is the idea. You are now boxed in. He is now trapped. And they're going to try to psychologically mess with him. It's all intentionally done. There's a reason why the detectives moved from here to here to here. There's a reason why they moved. There's a reason why this guy moved from here all the way over to here. It wasn't just 'cause. This is scripted. This is like football. This is like watching football, chat. This is like watching football. You know, you've got a football play here. You got the quarterback. You might be in the wing here. And then you got somebody in the back, and the quarterback goes back with the ball. He comes to here. You got the wideout goes over the top, and the quarterback throws to him from there. Like, this is a football play. This is fully scripted. They plan this out. Everything is done intentionally. Everything's done intentionally. So, Chef Clyde. No, guys, here's the thing. I don't kick people out of chat. I welcome anybody and everybody. We have Somalia rules. And that just means I am Mohammed Farah Adid. I am the warlord. But I let everyone in. So, but thank you, Clyde. You're such a good boy. I love your chef's hat. You're such a good doggo. It's really fascinating to watch their interrogation techniques. No, it's not, because I have to watch my clients get fucked around with these all the time. No, the level of manipulation and practice these guys have is not fair to other people. It is truly, I don't appreciate it. And I think that the police should be prevented from doing a lot of what they do. So here's the thing, and this is going back, chat. We're going to switch over to a different video now, and this is why I think it's important to know when you're talking about things, okay? So this is a video. It's called Don't Talk to the Police. All right? It's from Regent University School of Law. It actually is, I think, older than March 12th, 2012, okay? It has over 20 million views. This video has been uploaded multiple times to YouTube, all over the internet. Okay? It's been around forever. It's been around forever. Okay? And in it, there is a defense attorney who talks, and the other guy who talks through part of this is a police officer. He's a detective, and he's in law school. But this is a great example of like what you guys are saying. Richard Allen wouldn't have said all that stuff unless he's there. Here's why that's not true. And this attorney does a great job. And here's the point. Even if you're innocent, you could deny guilt and tell the truth. You can get carried away and tell some little lie or make some little mistake that hangs you. And this is a great example of it. Right here, he talks about it.
Forget about them. Let's talk about innocent people. Number 3, even if your client is innocent and he denies his guilt and almost entirely tells the truth, odds are good he will easily get carried away and tell some little lie or make some little mistake that will hang him. This is human nature. He gets in there, it's a stressful situation. Imagine a perfectly innocent client. The police say he's been guilty of a murder. He's totally innocent as any one of us. So he goes in there and he meets with the police. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. I was nowhere near there. I didn't kill him. I've never killed anybody. I don't have a gun. I've never had a gun. I've never touched a gun in my life. I was nowhere near Virginia Beach that night. That last line was a lie. He went over the top. He was getting carried away. He got into this groove. He started saying all kinds of things, almost all of them true, that he knew would tend to exculpate himself. Then he got carried away and just said one thing that wasn't true, and unfortunately for him, they can prove that it wasn't true. He may be convicted on that basis alone. But let's say, well, that's not a problem. I'll tell my client only to tell the truth. I've met with him. I know he won't lie to the police. He won't make any mistakes. Okay, that's still no guarantee you won't be getting into trouble. Because even if your client is innocent and only tells the truth and doesn't say anything that is false. Now, already, mind you, we're pretty well nigh into fantasy land. The odds of anybody being able to pull this off are really quite slim, no matter how innocent they may be. But just the same, let's pretend. Let's assume he gives the police nothing but the truth, and he is totally innocent. He will always give the police some information that can be used to help convict him. Always. For example, suppose you tell this to the police. Here's what your client tells to the police in his denial of guilt. I don't know what you were talking about. I didn't kill Jones. I don't know who did. I wasn't anywhere near that place. I don't have a gun. I've never owned a gun in my life. I don't even know how to use a gun. Yeah, sure, I never liked the guy, but who did? I wouldn't kill him. I've never hurt anybody in my life, and I would never do such a thing. Let's suppose every word of that is true. 100% of it is true. What will the jury hear at trial? Officer Brook, was there anything about this, your interrogation, your interview with the suspect that made you concerned that he might be the right one? Yes, there was. He confessed to me that he never liked the guy. And then the prosecutor will put that up in big letters, and he'll say, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, it's pretty clear that we've got the right guy here. We've proven that he was in Virginia Beach that night. That's opportunity. And remember, Officer Brook admitted that after extended questioning, he was finally able to get the defendant to admit that he never liked the guy. There's your motive. Motive plus opportunity. Wham, bam. Please. But juries eat it up. And innocent people get convicted this way sometimes. How often? Hopefully not too often, but we know what happens. The United States Supreme Court, don't take my word for this, in Ohio versus Reiner.
Guys, this is the case I've told you about before. Ohio versus Reiner. It came out of Toledo, Ohio, out of Lucas County Court of Common Pleas. I actually know the prosecutor was involved in it. One of the things involving Reiner involved a shaken baby, and it was about who shook the baby.
The Supreme Court of the United States said, quote, one of the Fifth Amendment's basic functions is to protect innocent men.
Guys, this is not at fast speed. This dude speaks normally fast. This is at normal speed. I'll put him slower if you want.
Who otherwise might be ensnared by ambiguous circumstances. Truthful responses of an innocent witness, as well as those of a wrongdoer, may provide the government with incriminating evidence from the speaker's own mouth. See, it's not just some criminal defense attorney telling you this. Even the Supreme Court says I'm right. Under the facts of that case, by the way, in Ohio versus Reiner, a child tragically was died, apparently the result of shaken baby syndrome. Question was who had shaken this baby to death. And one of the possible suspects was a babysitter who had spent some time with the child that week. The babysitter's story was, I don't know what you're talking about. I did not kill the child. I did not see it happen. I don't know who shook the baby. It was never me. I never did anything of any violent nature to the child. The Ohio State Court said, well, you've got no Fifth Amendment privilege. You, by your own admission, told the investigators that you've done nothing wrong, that you were not involved, so obviously your answers can't incriminate you. The United States Supreme Court reversed and said, well, that's not true. Even though this babysitter denies shaking the child, denies seeing the child die, denies knowing how the child died, this babysitter, by her own admission, apparently the government wanted to ask whether the babysitter might have been with the child at some point that week, during the week prior to the death. And that answer, although by itself not sufficient to convict anybody, could help convict her. That means she's got a Fifth Amendment right to refuse to answer to the question the court held, because it could be used to help convict. Ullman versus United States, the Supreme Court said, more than 50 years ago, eerily prophetic. They said too many Americans, even those who should be better advised, view this privilege as a shelter for wrongdoers. They too readily assume that those who invoke it are either guilty of crime or commit perjury in claiming the privilege. That's not true, and it never has been. But it gets worse. Can it get worse? It can. Number 5. Even if your client is innocent and only tells you the truth and does not tell the police anything incriminating, which, by the way, is almost impossible to pull this off. I mean, imagine talking to the police for 2, 3, 4 hours, and somebody like him can't somehow manage to extract from you something that could be used to help convict you. That'd be extraordinary. I don't think anybody's pulled it off. But even if you could pull it off, there's still a grave chance that his answers can and will be used to crucify you in a court of law if the police, no offense, don't recall his testimony with 100% accuracy. All right, now this brings us back to that pop quiz I warned you about. I told you earlier, remember, it's only been a few minutes, and you were not...
So there you go, chat, and we'll probably go over this at some point because I think it's actually important. So here you go. This is the guy. He's a detective. Here you go. He's Officer George Brook of the Virginia Beach Police Department. Here you go. Listen to his opening.
Okay. I cannot talk that fast. Not even interviewing. I'm going to take the podium here, Professor. Because I took notes on some of the things you said. And everything he said was true. Okay? And it was right, and it was correct. And I'm just going to give you a few ideas.
There you go. It's all right and it's correct. It's all right and correct. He admits, yes, we fuck with you. We do everything we can to screw with you, come after you, and ruin everything about you. So there you go. There you go. That's why him answering questions doesn't mean shit to me. It doesn't mean anything. He put himself there. Okay, great. He was telling the truth. I was there. A lot of people were there. Like the geofencing thing. Notice they never like, oh, well, it doesn't matter because we know those people aren't legit. No, they never checked them out. There's so much stuff that was never done properly. That's why I have a problem with the Richard Allen case. So something to think about. Something to think about. Another thing he brings up is the one where there's a triple murder. And the police bring you in and you'd say, I didn't hear any gunshots. I don't own a gun. I don't have a gun. The cops would look at you and say, we didn't tell you there was a gun used in the murder. Now, honestly, though, you're thinking, well, 3 people got killed all at once. It probably was a gun. And statistically, it would be a gun. But that's how the police can also use information to hurt you. My hair is giving off a Kate Gosselin vibe. Well, I took a shower and I didn't comb it because I was here all day. So I didn't have to go outside or leave the house. So, Loita said, did I talk about the Anthony case tonight? No, this actually, I didn't realize this was available and I wanted to see it. And 2.0 asked me to cover this as well. This is some good stuff here. So, yeah, this is a problem. This is the problem. I keep lying to you guys. Yes, something only the killer would know, but a lot of people actually might know it. He didn't have any special information that only the killer knew. Richard Allen didn't. So that's why I'm like, once again, chat, that's why you always have to be sus. So is there a big show for National Grilled Cheese Day tomorrow? No, I didn't know that was tomorrow. So did I check out the cocaine stripper accomplice rapper take a trial? No, I did not. I know Nick Starr was covering it. I didn't know anything about it actually. Do you have the Richard Allen and Home and Detective videos? I think this guy who had this up has the second one too. And you know what? We may just move on to the second one. Let me see if the second one's out there. It's an hour and 34 minutes. What time is it? 11:20. But yes, I do have it. I have the second one. So, we might watch that on Sunday because tomorrow we are going to do a couple things we're going to do. God, what did I say we were going to do tomorrow night? Jeez, I have it written down. I can't find it. Oh, Carl Jobs, Billy Mitchell. And we're also going to do a double feature. We're going to go through Carmelo Anthony's police report, the Texas high school stabbing. So, but yes, I do have the Detective Holman video. So, yes. Brad says, why would he ever talk to them again? Because he's an idiot. Yes, the second one is where they hit him really hard. He didn't confess. That's correct. But the first one, that shows you how they pry and prod and get people to do stuff. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. But yeah, true. So thank you for stopping by. A lot of you guys that are out here, I think some of you are some names I haven't seen before. Really, I think I probably haven't seen in a little while. So guys, thank you for popping in here. I appreciate it. You know, this is, I know some chats when they're one way or another, you know, ban and kick people on both sides of the aisle. It's like, I don't do that here. Don't do that here. So. Criminal Network says, I always people say I'm hella sketchy. At least I'm not a photograph. Oh. Yes. F1 is Sunday morning, yes. Am I going over Barnes's Washington loss? No, because I mean, he wasn't gonna win. They went up there and fought the good fight, so I don't blame him. Like, you know, losing in a place where the deck's stacked against you kind of happens. That's just like a thing. So, Bear chooses my personal channel subbed in the 30-ish subs. Lamal. Well, gosh, you've been here that long. Well, thank you. Oh. You waited forever for the toe sucker story. Okay, well, you know, I will say we are coming to the end of the month. We'll actually do it at the end of the month here. Has anyone watched Lori Daybell play lawyer and represent herself yet? No, but apparently it's been hilarious. She has just crashed and burned the whole time. Bowling Green is gay. Oh, no, it's not. Bowling Green's a lot better in Toledo. So, when has Barnes ever played the full deck? I don't know. I don't know when he has. So, Luigi Mangione is trying to get things dismissed because of Pam Buddy's comments. Wow, this is a lot to read through. I'm going to have to read through this. But we'll do that coming up. Does anything even think Ferrari has a chance? Ferrari always has a chance, but they'll screw it up. Are we going to cover the Darrell Brooks appeal? Yes, that is something we'll watch here coming up. Remember, I was set for trial, so I was kind of focusing on things. We're all done with that. We pled out. So we are going to be going forward in doing that. And like I said, we got a bunch to go through here, and I need to make some. Make sure I make some notes real quick, chat. Where's my? Why'd I pull out my pen? I can go to my show topics thing. All right, so. All right. Let's see here. And then there we go. Sorry, to make some notes, chat. It's kind of make your notes or you forget stuff. So, did you get your client a tow deal? No, but I mean, we got kind of what we were looking for. So, there's only so much we could do. But I mean, we kind of got what we were trying to fight for. So, which sucks, but you know, my client wanted it, and they offered her an opportunity to get out of jail, and she's like, it's hard to turn that down when you've been in jail for a little while. So. They definitely pressure you that way. And, you know, people who argue that pleas are not coerced is lying to you. True Slew says, I really want to watch the Karen Reed trial, but it's going to be too much time to dedicate. Well, here's the deal. I will be watching Karen Reed. I'll be watching it at night generally. I mean, if there's a chance to watch it during the day, I will. But for the most part, I'll be watching at night just because I won't have time to watch during the day myself. So hang around. We'll probably be covering it. And we'll be going at 1.3 speed and cutting through all the bullshit. So Is that tie yellow or gold? It's yellow. Hold on, let me move it. I'll switch it all up for a second. Hold on. Hold on here, chat. All right. All right, Donnie, we got to fix you up, buddy. Oh, let's see here. There we go. I'm going to throw that away. I already scanned that in. There we go. Did Kieran Reed do it? Honest question. I don't. See, there you go. You guys can see better. It's a yellow tie. It's a yellow tie. The state can't prove it. Do I think she did it? I don't know. I mean, like, there's a million ways it could have happened. Do I buy the theory that the Alberts and all them beat the shit out of John and killed him in the house? No. Do I believe the idea that John got drunk and fell down the stairs and cracked his head open and they panicked and threw him outside? That could have happened. Do I think John could have left and screamed, "Fuck you, bitch," and slipped in the snow and cracked his head and just died there? Sure. The idea that Kieran Reed hit him with the car, or this like retarded notion that he's, standing there and Karen like slides the car into him and throws John like 50 feet. That doesn't make any sense. Or she hit him just right so John doesn't have any marks of indicating it. No, there's no. Like, none of that makes any sense. And here's the point, True Sleuth. I can't convict her because at the end of the day, I don't like, short of her admitting to it, and I get the I hit him thing. I'm not like Jen McCabe and all those people. I don't fucking, none of the witnesses are trustworthy. The police have so much fucked the case. She should be acquitted out of principle. That's the point. That's the point. Thank you, Territory. I will take a look at that in a second. And did a dog bite him? I don't know. But those marks on him are really fucking weird. They don't add up. Those aren't from getting dragged on the ground. Those aren't, cuts from polycarbonate in the taillight scratching him. Like, those would cut like knives. They wouldn't cut like scratches. Why does he have scratches on him? Why did the Alberts throw all their phones away? Why did Brian Higgins take his phone, snap it in half, and throw it in separate garbage cans on 2 different military bases? Why do they do all that? Why does that all work? Why is like all the butt dials? Why is Brian Higgins fucking around at the police station at 1:30 in the morning? Why is the camera flipped over? Why is all this stuff not working right in a way that makes sense? It doesn't work. And honestly, what should happen if the police have ruined an investigation? It should be acquitted. And then the community gets mad and they should be able, and here's what the community should do in Canton. Everybody should go to the city council meeting and say, why do the police suck so bad? People should go to the Massachusetts State Police and say, why are the police so bad? We demand oversight. We demand investigations. Why aren't they doing the job right? And you hold people accountable. Maybe we have to fire the police department. Maybe we have to fire the police chief. Maybe the police chief has to fire shitty detectives. I don't know, but that's the only way you get accountability. When the police, and like even in Indiana, these bumbling fucks losing all kinds of evidence, destroying things, lying about fighting this doctor who knew about the Odinism. They lied about going to see him. Like, they're like, oh, they completely lied about everything. Those people should be fired. That's the only way you're going to fix it, because right now Jerry Holman is working on more cases. Do you trust him? Do you really trust him? No, he shouldn't touch anything ever again. It's the only way you ensure credibility and accountability in law enforcement. And that's not happening. That's the problem here. Yeah, he threw his trash away in the base dump. Yeah, that's what I mean. 2 different bases. Threw his shit away. Yeah, the independent investigation ruled no corruption. I mean, Kate, here's my point. Let's say you were facing a DUI. Would you want any of these detectives on the case accusing you of anything? Would you say, oh, it's okay, they're telling the truth? No. Like, the idea that there was a conspiracy to frame Karen Reed, I don't buy that. But that these cops are incompetent and really awful at their jobs and you can't trust them and they have integrity issues, oh, I think if you're not going to agree to that, I don't know what to tell you. But the idea that there was a corrupt, like, conspiracy, no. But a bunch of incompetent shit, like, a bunch of them, they were all incompetent, and then a bunch of them were scumbags. Sorry, like, you can't trust any of those witnesses. Short of, like, the snowplow guy, like, nobody else was fucking credible. So, that's how this should happen here. Oh, I don't know enough about the case. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to, like, lecture you. I'm just saying, when even in Indiana for Richard Allen, those police fucked the case up so badly. You know what? Sorry, their murder doesn't get solved. You know what would happen? That community would be demanding jobs. Jerry Holman's head would be on a pike. Next time, take notes. Don't delete things. When the defense attorneys are asking you, did you interview this guy? Don't lie and say, no, you didn't. Like, there's a way to hold accountability. Right now, the police have not been held accountable for what they did. They think this is all acceptable because it worked. That's the scary part. Or the defense team lied about all of it. They lied directly in their motions. Well, if they lied, then why didn't the state catch them in lies and punish them for all of it? I mean, remember, a bunch of the, is it really they lied, or is it, they're doing their job? I mean, the prosecutor's lying too. Darcy says they did it. Cost them $200,000. Who says they did it? I don't know where we're. Sorry, I'm trying to read here. Yeah, I'm not saying there's police corruption, but Kate, here's the point. Are you going to tell me that the police investigation was competently done? Are you going to tell me that dumb fuck trooper who took like a weekend class in crash reconstruction is credible? Are you going to tell me using solo cups and their evidence control is credible and trustworthy? I mean, like I said, you're worried about corruption, screaming about corruption. This is where you need to be honest and say, wow, they were not credible. They were highly incompetent and very suspect in what they did. If you aren't willing to admit that, I don't know what to tell you. You could sit there and scream about no corruption, but let's focus on the incompetence. Let's focus on the incompetence. So that's the point. That's my problem. Yeah, I don't believe there's a multi-level conspiracy, but you have a bunch of incompetent people and then a couple of them who are absolutely fucking malicious. It's the banality of evil. That they don't give a fuck. So. Let's see. Lie and hide things. It's so much better. Yeah. Yeah. The town voted for an audit of the police. Yeah. Let's see here. The leaf blower, to be fair, I think the leaf blower is actually a pretty clever way of getting the snow off, short of like, because you sat there and used like a paintbrush, like you're, doing archaeology. That wouldn't work too well. That was actually an effective way, because think about it. The wind would just blow the snow away. Like the leaf blower I actually thought was pretty slick. I'll give them credit for that. So that is the thing here. It's a cover up for the McAlberts. I don't even know that. Like I said, there's a million ways it could have happened. So, Let me see. Where are you guys up to? Core TV was up to 95% for things there, yeah. Guy Remecton, you're talking about ARCA. Yes, but here's the problem. Alan Jackson and them were not honest about that. Like, they for whatever reason, they decided not to disclose that once the facts changed. They should have disclosed that. That was a really bad thing on their part. They shouldn't have done that. That was a dumb move. It was a dumb move by them to do this. So, Auto Doctor saying the plane and the taillight's necessary to believe ARCA. Well, here's the point still. Skip all the taillight shit. He doesn't have injuries consistent with being hit by a vehicle that's going backwards really, really fast. He has no injuries consistent with being struck by a vehicle. There's reasonable doubt. Because how else could she have done it? So, no, it wasn't a conflict, but they were told, they had said we didn't pay them, and it turns out they had paid them. That is a lack of candor to the court. So, Auto Doc says, yeah, so the taillight had to be planted then. Okay, here's the point though. Okay, why does he have no marks indicative of being struck by a car? Remember, they think the car, like the black box data shows it was going 60. I'm sure the wheels were spinning that fast. Let's say it was going 25, 30 miles an hour as she backed up into him. Why does he have no blunt force trauma anywhere except the back of his skull? There is nothing else on his body that indicates he was hit by a massive object. There's no bruising to his chest, his legs, his arms, anywhere. Why can that not be explained? He's got like black eyes, but like that wouldn't do it. You know, like that would cause so much trauma to his face. That's the point I'm trying to tell you here. And the idea from the ARCA guys is like, remember, Trooper Paul said like, oh, he got hit and went like 40, cartwheeled through the air 40 feet. It's like, it doesn't work that way. That's shit from a movie. Getting hit by a car would leave massive trauma. So, first of all, there's no wheel spin. Okay, so he got hit by a car going 20 miles an hour. He has no injuries indicative of somebody consistent with someone getting hit by a car. There you go. That's reasonable doubt, not guilty. That's the point. They don't have anything there that works. Yeah, he pirouetted or whatever they think happened. Makes absolutely no sense. Now, you know what? I will concede the point that not everybody who gets hit by a car normally has injuries. But the problem is, those are the exceptions, not the rule. So that's normally not the case. Generally speaking, people have injuries when they get hit by a car. So there's reasonable doubt. Yeah, see, I don't buy the Alberts hitting him. I don't think that happened. You guys doing that one, it does not make sense to me. Let me see here. He was not beat up. I don't buy that theory. It doesn't work for me. And also the idea she was framed is not going to work. If they try that again, she's probably going to lose. They'd be better off just focusing on the issues the state has with the cause of death and the manner of it. That it was allegedly by a car, but you can't prove it. That's reasonable doubt. Boom, done, walk home. That's a walk-off home run. Trying to exonerate her is a fool's errand. And they're going to lose if they do it. So, yeah, stuff can happen, sure, but it doesn't work that way. The key cycle showed the car data could have been no earlier than the Dayton record pickup. Well, and that's my point. Remember, people are freaking out and thinking, oh, Hank Brennan's got car data. Even if he had car data, none of it supports the idea that he was struck by a car. So, where are the defensive wounds? Well, that's a secondary thing. Like, why doesn't he show injuries consistent with that? Unless he got blindsided, it still doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work, you guys. Like, there's nothing here that indicates he was attacked. There's nothing that indicates he was attacked, and I'm steadfast in that. I don't buy it. I will never buy it. I will never buy that he got attacked. Like I said, could he have fallen down the stairs? Sure. Drunk people fall down the stairs. Everybody panics and throws him outside. You know, why is the dog biting him? I don't know. Maybe the dog bit him and he fell down the stairs. I don't know. There's a million different ways. But the idea that the McAlberts and Brian Higgins started river dancing the shit out of this guy, I don't buy it. Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. I don't know. Here's the point, and you guys are bringing up great stuff. I don't have an answer for that. And the bigger thing, if Alan Jackson and the NA were smart, they'd say, look, they go up there and say, ladies and gentlemen, look at all the things they don't have answers to. The manner of death, these dog bites. Where was the dog at attacking John O'Keefe? They don't have answers for any of this stuff. So you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen? There's doubt. There's reasonable doubt. We don't know how the hell he died. We can't even account for all the damage on his body. And if we can't account for all the damage on his body, we don't know the manner of death. We don't know the cause of death. Not guilty. That would how you do this. That would be how you do this. So, but they aren't doing it that way. Oh. He got bitten by Alexis. Thank you, Brewberries. Oh, no. Hold on, chat. All right. Okay. He has massive internal injuries, but where are the external injuries? Like, none of those injuries he suffered internally are consistent with being struck by a vehicle. None of them are consistent. Her interviews, they were awful. They were absolutely stupid. She should never have done them. She never should have done them. She should never have done the interview where she's hanging out with Glare and all those people on the live stream. She never should have done all the investigation discovery shit. She shouldn't have done any of it. It was Colin and they're coming for him. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Like I said, I don't buy it. I don't think the injuries show anything other than you can't prove what happened to Karen. KR, unfortunately for herself, thinks she's a celebrity. Yeah, there you go. There are no massive internal injuries. Here's the point, BL Blazy. I'm willing to spot those to Kate. I know they're not there. She says something happened. Fine, I'll concede it. Why are there no injuries consistent with a car accident still? She can't answer that. She can't answer that question. I will give her everything. I will concede all her allegations is true. She still can't prove why it doesn't look like a guy who got hit by a car. She can't prove that. She can't explain that. She can't explain that. Did she say she hit him with the car? There's some point where it's like, did she say, she's like, I hit him, is what Jen McCabe, who's a complete cunt of a human being, says. Some other people say that too, but is she saying, did I hit him? Like, it's not clear. So, yeah, okie dokie. Yeah, no, okie dorky. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, no, like I said, I'm just trying her to like, okay, fine. Let's say that happened. Still prove to me the car accident. He got the marks from Jen McCabe's teeth where she's like, "Oh, bite your dick off." Oh. So, yeah, Alec Baldwin can't keep getting away with it. Truthful says, I'm a nurse. Okay. I'm interested in the medical examiner and the other experts. Yeah. Oh, she was asking, not confirming. Oh, okay. Well, then, there's none there. Yeah. What if she hit him, knock him down on the curb, then an animal attacked him? How many wild animals are roaming the streets of Canton in the middle of a blizzard? Like it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Why wasn't Aaron Himmel charged with insemination of our communal wife? I don't know. At least his channel don't have a pay a toll to comment. Well, I don't operate that way. And you know what? I probably am not good at the grifting, but that's not how I roll. So. And also, if you guys didn't mention, I probably should have said sooner. My name's Sean, potentially criminal. I'm an attorney in the Cleveland, Ohio area. Do a lot of criminal defense work. And yeah, we're looking at Richard Allen. So if you guys are new, that's who I am. So Karen just needs fixing. Yeah, she does. She needs a lot of fixing. So, all right, chat. Well, we've been here 2.5 hours. East Coaster says a bloated attorney. Yeah. More for your mom to hold on to. Why was the pool filled in the house sold? Well, that's an issue there. Can the Trump DOJ bring federal cuckoldry charges? No, they can't. Sorry. Criminal Alexis, we like you. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, let's see here. Wait to hear the evidence for myself. To be fair, True Sleuth, I went into the Karen Reed case kind of pretty much a blank slate the first time through. So, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Am I getting upstream to eat some more? No. Your mom's heating up some chicken tendies for me, so she'll bring them in. I'm going to eat them Hassan style. Let's see here. There's a couple more. Let me see here. There is Sweet Tooth Fairy's been a member for 24 months. Says happy second anniversary. Good times. Well, 24 months. Thank you for the support. I mean, that's a long time. And I appreciate every bit of it. So, and like I said, guys, before, if you guys can't afford it and you've been around forever, I know you're out there. I appreciate you being here. Being here, clicking, liking, commenting, all that fun stuff. Thank you so much. And Sweet Tooth, I do appreciate it. Unhung Hero says he just said down the hill. Guilty. Yeah. He definitely should have come forward. 100%. And Patty, I agree. Let me explain, officer. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Oh. Kathy, your realtor in Jersey. That means New Jersey, chat. If you're looking for a realtor in New Jersey to sell or buy a home, find Kathy. She'll help you out. She will help you out. Says a Trump cutout. Did I pay tariffs on that? No. This was a Christmas present, so no, I haven't had to pay tariffs on it. Thank you, though. Bear Juice says, thanks, Sean. I tried to tell people this over for 6 months. He also says I did it. I killed him over the phone to his wife on the prison phone. Yeah, but that's, like I said, once again, I have concerns about his reliability while he's in prison. So, Criminal Network says, I'm not taking notes in that guy's class. Yeah, that professor is very fast down in Virginia. Taylor Cook says for $5, my theory is John O'Keefe went inside, Brian Higgins had some words, started some shit, and maybe they tussled. Chloe jumped on John and he fell down the stairs. And that could be it too. I mean, like I said, I think whatever it is a far more, it's like everybody involved is a bunch of fucking idiots. So it was probably something very moronic, not a dastardly plan. And Blue Varro has been a member for 2 months. Thank you for the support. I do appreciate it. Let's see. Let's see here. East Coast has tariffs on going on the egg rolls. I don't like egg rolls, so I appreciate the thought, though. Gorgon says, I believe you get your Trump vote, and I believe you're jealous of Nick Rekida's comeback. Yeah, that's totally it. No, yeah. Yes. You got me. You got me on both counts. Oh. Let's see here. Erica Thor's been a member for 5 months. Thank you, Erica. I appreciate it. This is best chat ever, except for you, Kate B. She's part of the chat, so she makes it good. And the amateur iconoclast shows up with 1 sub, letting somebody join the ranks out there, chat. He's doing his part. Are you?
Fight for the future.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part.
I'm doing my part too.
Are you doing your part? See, my fingers in front of my hands in front of my face, so I can't see how I'm doing it. Like this. There we go. Put my finger like here. Here we go. Like this. Oh, so the Richard Allen second interview, it's like an hour and a half long, chat, and it's already, we're going to be here till like 1:30, 2 o'clock. I don't want to be up that late doing this. So no. Am I ready for Glory Holman to lose his shit next time? Yes. We'll probably do this on Sunday. We'll do part 2 on Sunday. Sweet Tooth Fairy says, what movie is that from? Starship Troopers. A 1997, or no. Hold on. Starship 1997 film with Casper Van Diem, a Clancy Brown, Jill instructors him, multiple people in it that, it's all kinds of people. Michael Ironside's in it. Denise Richards is in it. Neil Patrick Harris is in it. All kinds of people. All kinds of good people. Very good movie. I thoroughly enjoy it. So. Trying to figure out where I got the idea to sub to your channel. Was it Laid Back Law or maybe Runkle? Probably. 2 very good things. Laid Back Law is very good. And Runkle the Bailey is a phenomenal channel. He does great work. And I wish I could figure out how to harness the lightning like he does. But Runkle does very good stuff. And I know tonight he's probably on with Rob right now. But Runkle does a great show. Love Runkle. He's a great guy. Great guy. Very personable. Very, like everybody is generally. But he's great to talk to. There's been a couple times after Laid Back Law where we've hung out in the back and we shot the shit after the show was over. He's a great guy. Great guy. Totally. Criminal Network says, why did Rick keep talking? Because that's what they do. They get you to keep talking. They're trained to keep you talking. They're trained to keep pumping you for information. And this is no different than intelligence officers pumping sources, like spies and field operatives. They train them to pump you for information to keep you talking. The goal is to keep you talking. If you stop talking or you assert your rights to the detectives, mission is if that happens, they failed. This mission is a failure. That's what happens if you say, I'm done. Failure. So that's their job. Yes. Blue Varo saying, why don't people understand if the cops want to talk to you? You are the target, so shut up. Because the people think they're helping. People like to think they're helping. It's a horrible movie. It's actually a very good movie because it's a pretty base world. It's supposed to be fascist, but it's a complete meritocracy that doesn't see race or sex. So it's pretty based. We're doing 24-hour stream? No. No. Yes, Gary Busey's son as well. Yes. Oh. Let me see here. Trying to catch up your chat. All right, so we're all done. We are all done. Sleuth says, I like Runkle. I also like Good Logic. I like Joe too. It's on Rob now. I like Rob as well. A little late, but membership troopers. Do you want to know more? Yes. Yes. So, anyways, guys, we are all done for the night. It is, we're done. I think we're going to wrap it up here. I think we're just going to, I don't know. I was thinking about working on this a little bit tonight, finishing up, half track, getting it like weathered and stuff, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do here. But I know that Runkle and Rob are live. I know a couple people are live right now, so I'm going to take a second here, find out who's live, and send you guys on to enjoy the rest of your night. Tomorrow night, we are going to do Carmelo Anthony, and after that, we are going to do Carl Jobst and Billy Mitchell in the judge discussing what happened in his defamation case because he read his opinion aloud and published it online. And if you guys don't know the TLDR, it did not go well for Carl. He kind of, buddy, was not so good for them. Let me see here. All right. So I'm going to send you guys on. And then from here, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow night. Is a possible model stream? I mean, if we do one, it's going to be very short. So, tomorrow's going to be a double feature. Yeah, tomorrow will be a double feature. And then we'll do the Formula One race tomorrow over on Locals. So, Ethan Ralphs is streaming on YouTube using Memeology's channel. Ooh, geez, really? So, all right. Well, anyways, we're moving on, chat. So remember, we'll do Richard Allen on Sunday afternoon. We'll catch up and finish. But jeez, don't talk to the cops, please, guys. Whatever you do, don't talk to the cops, especially if they nab you on an illegal stop. Okay. So until next time, just because you did it does not mean you're guilty. And unless you're Richard Allen, didn't help yourself here, man. Didn't help yourself here. I can tell you that much. So that was painful to listen to. That was so sad to listen to. Watching that man slit his throat in front of everybody. So now you know, chat, learn from his mistakes.
Weapons, blacksmithing, and models of planes, esoteric works, and even some trains. Much merriment had while drinking White Claws, tips on hunting, and even talking the law. Whatever you do, just don't talk to cops, even when they nab you on illegal stops. Just 'cause you did it doesn't mean you're guilty, but please talk to a local attorney. Was that the fat guy?